Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Think of all that time. Every wait in the winter. Think of all that time. There's no one else. Every sprint in the summer. Every sacrifice. Early mornings on the levee. Late nights in the film room. Bus rides to playoff games. Every bump in the road. Every moment of ecstasy. Every moment of doubt. Years wondering, is it all worth it? It's all led to this. Man, I got this. It's a 60-minute drive for a 60-minute game. After all the miles we've traveled, we're almost there. After all the hours we've worked, one more can make us legends. After all that time, this is our time.
I'm going to say if they play just the amount of games as the NBA, with the amount of hype that they have, if they just put some primetime games on after the NBA season, they would be a profitable company.
Looking to get it into Smith. What a pass! That's game! Morgan Smith with the game winner! Oh my goodness!
And that is why you have Aaron Fry pass the ball in. Your weakest link on the team, who is a complete liability,
is gone.
In the playoffs,
Out of there.
You lost nothing.
You know, people watch 90 plus minutes of a soccer game to watch Miami Dolphins Stadium get destroyed over one goal.
Yeah.
See, this is going to determine my running back position. The Bills. Ooh, I'll take Cook.
But we're going to get to our final play. This is absolutely the Duncan Summer League. This was just filthy. Check this out.
And they're trying to force a contested perimeter shot and keep it out of the lane. Wanda's Williams.
Till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
You are looking live at Military Broadcast Radio. We are till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio. Thank you, Joel, for having us. Don't sue us, Stokely. The boys are back on a Wednesday. We got all the sports action, boys.
Yes,
they call it
we
Sports
do.
Equinox. Got college basketball, college football's kicking off,
Whole lot.
NBA, NHL, and of course the NFL. Boys, let's start a Monday night recap real quick.
We gave a proper send off to MLB last week. And we had Dolphins Rams on Monday night.
We did.
The game was honestly really
pretty good game.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good game.
A lot of interceptions, but I mean, it was just good defense being played.
Yep.
Like
a lot of
both
turnovers.
quarterbacks were having a tough time. There was pressure getting to them. Good.
And what was
coverage.
crazy, there was big plays, and then right
it
after,
was.
that's when like
It
a
would be-
sack or an interception, a fumble.
Yep.
It was nuts.
It was awesome.
It was a
And
pretty good game.
Good win
Dolphins get
for
the win.
Dolphins, dude.
A huge win for the
Huge
Dolphins.
win.
They really
it
needed that.
bad.
They could have winning this game. They're now 2 games out of the wild card, out of a wild card,
Which is
spot.
kind of
With
crazy
three
because they
wins.
have 3
Yeah.
wins.
What the
boys.
heck?
If they had won this game, they would have been in position to have the 3rd overall pick.
Oh,
Like, I mean, it's if they had lost, rather.
right. Yeah.
So it's just wild that the swing there. But yeah, I mean, Tua healthy. The offense it wasn't like super explosive by any means. There were a couple of big plays. They had a really good opening drive. But a lot of people sleep on this Dolphins defense. It's, a unit that doesn't have a ton of big name guys on it. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's kind of at the back end of his career. I
I
don't
think
think
Phillips is probably like the kid in the back end.
Jalen Phillips. He's
Pretty good.
that edge rusher. They got Javon Holland.
Yeah.
Those are maybe the 2 big guys that people would think of, but it's just a real
They have
solid
Xavier
unit.
Howard still?
No,
No.
he got cut. He had a big bad offseason scandal. Yeah.
Rams
like
won the time of
Zion got
possession
traded.
in that game.
They
That's
did.
interesting.
I mean, it's weird to
30
see
minutes
Sean
to 20.
McVay not get aggressive at any point and try to pick up like a 4th down or
I
fourth
was
or short in
shocked
the
at
red
that.
zone.
That's a good point. I was actually pretty shocked that he didn't go for one of those 4th downs.
Yeah.
Only down 1 touchdown. I'm like, I don't know if a field goal really necessarily helps you here.
Turn a 1-score game into a 1-score game.
Yeah, it was
Just tie it up. At least try.
Yeah.
exactly.
If you don't get it, still a 1-score game.
Like, especially with how good Jared Verse is a dog
Yeah.
in the middle there as a rookie.
Yeah,
Cool.
man.
I'd say with him, he's probably the front runner for DPO or
Rookie.
defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah,
rather. Yeah.
I would think so. I think he's up there. And, I'm like, hey, like your defense is stopping them
Yeah.
relatively easily. I don't know. Like, I didn't see Miami really not explosive, only 14 first downs. I just didn't see. I'm like, hey, if you need to get a stop, you can trust your defense to get a stop
Yeah.
here. It's not like you're getting gapped all over the field. Go for one of these 4th downs and be aggressive. I was really shocked to not see McVay be more aggressive in that, especially in the first half.
All right, because he's one of those bit
Especially in the
more
first half.
more of like an analytical guy. Anyways, we've seen him be aggressive before, but super conservative play call out of him. And it was just
They don't,
really
I don't
unlike
really
him.
think they utilized Kyron Williams a lot in the first half either, running the ball. It was sort of just like a sloppy, muggy, only 15 total carries, 62 yards for Kyron Williams. Fantasy owners
that couldn't
weren't
really get him
happy,
going.
especially with the Dolphins' weak. Their run defense is kind of beleaguered. It was one of the. I had it up here for a second. Yeah, they ranked 14th against the run, so middle of the pack. I just don't see why you can't
Not the great.
Yeah,
establish a run game early, especially when the
Well,
score is close.
You got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. They both had pretty good games, and it's like
They did.
the secondary of Miami has been their strong suit. They've been better at shutting down the pass than they have at shutting down the run. And
Yeah.
but you should why couldn't you get that run game going and then open up the pass game even more? 0 touchdowns for the Rams. When is the last time
Wow. Yeah.
that's happened for them, for a Sean
all field
McVay led
goals, too.
offense?
And they missed a field goal.
Yep.
And if they'd have had with the ball with 2 minutes left in the 4th quarter, how that game played out, you make that field goal. That's what I was surprised. It was 4th and 3. It was a 56-yard field goal that they missed before. I'm like, you have 35 seconds left. You're at the 50.
That's
It's
not
4th
when to
and
kick.
1.
Kick the field goal when there's 3 seconds left in the half.
You got to go for it
Use
on 4th and
every
1.
single second
You
that's
got a
available.
rookie kicker too. I know he's been really good this
Yeah.
year, but still trust your boys on offense. You've got 2 top tier wide receivers and elite running
Zion
back.
Williamson got traded. Sorry to interrupt you guys.
What?
Tyson Casey letting us know, according to Adam Schefter, Zion Williamson traded from the New Orleans Pelicans.
Really?
Comment coming in from YouTube.
Huh.
Boys,
No.
Hold on,
sorry
let's
to
get
just full swing on us right there. But I was looking down at that comment like, no way.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, let's put him up in here. Looks like Zion got traded.
Huh.
According to Adam Schefter. Thank you, Tyson, for tuning in, buddy.
I
Appreciate
thought you were
See.
talking about the Zion.
Why aren't we
on
talking?
the
Yeah, we
Dolphins.
just didn't know.
And
Yeah,
I
we
was
didn't
like-
know, buddy. We usually start off
Yeah.
Wednesday's show, Tyson, with Monday night recap real quick before we get into NBA and everything else. But thanks for letting us know, man. Yeah, we can quickly pivot. I'm gonna go and look something up.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
see if you can
that.
find that Adam Schefter tweet. I Googled him. It's just the only news that's popping up for him at the moment is that he's out indefinitely with a hamstring strain. Does it say who he was traded to? That would be shocking. I couldn't. The Pelicans, man. That would be. I mean, kind of signifying that hey, maybe we. He got us. Nah, he's trolling.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
that isn't true.
All right,
come on.
good
What
one,
are-
Tyson.
What are we doing?
There's a funny page on TikTok that it's past the trade deadline in the NFL, but they keep posting like just trades that never happened. There's like showed Pat Surtain's pick 6 that he had a few weeks ago in the season. It was like Pat Surtain the second to the Eagles. We're 2 weeks past the trade deadline now, so and it's a House
Yeah.
of Highlights page too. They have the same username and same
yeah.
profile picture, so it can get people sometimes.
Those fake sports news pages, you gotta watch out for them. They're everywhere.
The fake Adam Schefter
Yeah.
page always gets people on Twitter too.
Wilson F. Ball.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
they're funny. I like them, but yeah, they can.
They get me all the time.
They really get you sometimes. All right, well, back to Monday Night Football, I suppose.
Yes, sir.
Dolphins. I think they did play really well outside of the pair of turnovers. Once they got better at protecting the ball again, their defense was really good. We got to give them some credit. They did a great job of shutting down Kyron, and they didn't let Puka or Cooper really burn them too bad. Bend but don't break. They have the Rams 0 of 3 in the red zone.
Goodness.
Yeah,
Man.
holding them to 5 field goals. A Rams offense that's been pretty explosive and high scoring these past few weeks, and has really just opened back up with the return of those 2 wide receivers.
Fire got put out.
And another thing the Dolphins did really well, only 1 penalty on the game. It was a
Yeah, it was a
15-yarder, but
Yep. Really clean game. Rams.
Yeah, they were just really
4-5
clean.
now.
Ooh.
With that division, I mean, dude, that's
And they're
everybody's
going
still
to
right
play
there.
Seattle next.
it is,
week,
yeah.
so-
I mean, that division's still wide open. Arizona 6-4, San Fran 5-4, LA 4-5.
So, don't sleep on Arizona. Probably the quietest division leader.
yeah.
Everybody's
we've
only
got
played
here.
3 division games, so there's a lot of football
Yeah.
left to be played.
Oh, there's a lot to shake
a
up.
lot of football left to be
Kyler
played,
Murray,
boys.
3-0 since Call of Duty came out. So
Hey.
Exactly.
And they were hating on the guy, like, oh, his record after Call of Duty's awful and all this.
he's proven us wrong.
It's like,
man.
hey,
Yeah.
man, he's doing double duty over
Yeah.
here, boys.
He
must
might
not
beat the
like this one.
allegations.
He must not like this one too much. He's not
Yeah.
spending as much time playing.
Yeah.
I know. I've heard that there are already some complaints with it, but that's every
That's
Call of
all-
Duty.
That's
Honestly,
But hey,
every video
so-
game now.
I haven't played video games since Black Ops 2, so I'm out
Well,
of
that's
it.
the best one.
That's
so
the
you-
best
It's
one.
the GOAT.
Perfect place
Dude,
to
it was the
stop.
GOAT, dude. It was
Yeah.
awesome. It was so much fun. And then I just became old and I got tired of 13-year-olds just saying racist crap on there. So I was like, I'm done.
That's the perfect place to stop, honestly,
done.
because that's the best game.
Exactly.
I
That's
got
the
all
best
the
one.
gold. I got all the gold skins. I did all the things. I did all the stuff. And Halo 2 is really my thing because like
Oh,
that was my
Those were sick,
prime,
Yeah,
bro. That was like when multiplayer and all
it
that
was first starting.
first starting. It was
Oh,
elite. Dude. It was
Halo,
awesome.
Halo Reach and Black Ops 2. They were out at the
Days
same
we,
time.
we would stay up for days.
That
It
was elite time to be alive if you like video games. Well, all right, we got a little nostalgic there.
We did.
Gotta forgive us.
Shout
Good
out
times for
nostalgia.
everyone. Kyler Murray, though, since new COD's dropped, he's 61 of 80. He's thrown for 767 yards, and he's got 4 touchdowns
Yep.
in that time.
I wanted
frame.
to remind you that screen.
he's
you sent
got,
me that on Instagram.
Yeah, and he's got decent amount of rushing yards and a couple of rushing touchdowns too. I don't remember what the numbers on those are, but it's like 200-ish yards. I think 3 touchdowns. So he's been putting up some numbers. we haven't seen that usual drop off that we see come October time when the COD releases. So good on you, Kyler Murray. Yeah, just beat down on the Jets.
Hopefully nobody started their defense last weekend.
No.
That would have been rough for you.
I was started that Eagles defense. They just feasted.
Oh,
Who'd
yeah,
they
that's
play?
a good way to do it.
The Cowboys.
Oh,
It's Cooper Rush.
That was
man,
a cheat code. That sometimes there's like match. I'm like, how, like there's just certain games where I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
that guy's gonna go for 40 points, and I'm playing him. Like, of course, I should beat this guy, but he's starting like this mediocre player who's like playing like the worst team in football, just goes off.
Yep.
I hate that. It's the
I've
worst
had
thing about
that
fantasy.
happen all season
It's the worst
long
thing about fantasy.
against my friends. Be like the most random weeks I'll have just one guy score like 50 points. Their team will play really good and come back, and then last day of the week I'll beat them by like 2 points because I have like 2 guys left. I've been doing that all season in this league, just barely squeaking out some wins.
Like comeback kid.
A few years ago, I got beat. As a Packers fan, getting beat by your own Packers player, and I'm like, oh yeah, like A-Rod doesn't throw the ball to tight ends. Richard Rodgers, 3 touchdowns, 75
It's
yards
just
on
the
4
one week.
And I was like,
1 week.
I was up by like 30. I had like my team. I had Dalvin Cook when he was really good with the Minnesota Vikings still.
Oh, yeah.
And I was killing. And I was like, I had Jameis Winston in his 30 for 30 year when he had 30. So he's thrown for he threw for 5,180 yards.
Oh yeah, it's like, dude,
I was up
still
by like
score
35
30
points, and Richard Rodgers goes off on me for a 40 burger, basically.
The
and
one week
I
that the
lose
guys
by
do.
like 8, dude. And he was like, "Oh, Packer on Packer crime." I was like, "You got to be bleeping me, dude. You got to be bleeping me."
gosh darn it, yeah.
Especially when it's like Zach Ertz, or like when Dallas got like an elite tight end at that time. Like, okay, I can.
That makes
What-
sense to me.
Richard Rodgers, bro.
I know.
Like not
seriously?
even Jermichael Finley. Like we're talking Richard bleeping Rod. Like who's that guy?
Yep.
I think A-Rod only signed him because of his last name.
All right. His ability to go
That's
up and
it.
get Hail Marys too. I
Bro, no,
guess.
you couldn't even.
Yeah,
I don't
true.
even think he played college football, Richard Rodgers. I think he was like a lacrosse player that like
That's
worked
that's
his way up
interesting,
from like a practice squad tryout.
Let's check it out. See if it'll come up quicker.
I haven't had to really worry about Broncos players burning me in fantasy. I gotta say that's nice that's nice at least. You guys.
Yeah.
Even when the Broncos do win,
Noah
it's not
Fant
like
hasn't had a
anybody.
chance to.
It's not like anybody usually goes off. Cortland Sutton was nice last year, but he was never a problem for
next
me.
week's Monday game, Houston versus Dallas. Kind of interesting.
That's kind of
Battle of Dallas.
unfortunate. I think that was going to be a bigger
That's probably
matchup
going
if
to be
Dak
big
was
if
healthy.
Dak was, yep.
But now, like the Cowboys, their season's kind
Rodgers
of going
went to
down the
Cal.
toilet.
He went to. No even wonder. Guess where
That's
Aaron
why.
Rodgers went to freaking
Yeah.
school.
They're both
Thank you,
Golden
Caveman.
Bears.
Jesus,
why Aaron
man.
Rodgers
That's
got it.
why. Thank you, Caveman. You're awesome, dude. You're
I
awesome.
wanted to see. He still probably could have played lacrosse at Cal and just
He
they
was
were
an elite
buddies.
lacrosse player.
They were just
Elite
buddies.
lacrosse player. It was some years after because like A-Rod was already like A-Rod by the time Richard Rodgers got on our team. Like he was well
Literally,
after the
they're
Super
just
Bowl.
buddies.
They like
Old
through
college buddies.
Cal, like,
Probably.
like agent, like all these players are like related, like with their agency and stuff like that, and like where they train in the off season. I
Even on
think Richard
rival teams.
Rodgers was like one of the USA guys for like the FIBA lacrosse champ, whatever they show on ESPN and stuff. And I think he was like on that team. And I think it was the San Francisco 49ers who gave him like a practice squad tryout. And we signed him to our like full roster
That's pretty sick.
from that tryout. And I
Wow,
was like,
no
who's this
kidding.
guy? And caught
Rogers' buddy.
Yep.
You know,
Just an old
beat-
college buddy.
single-handedly beat the Arizona Cardinals, caught a Hail Mary, no big deal.
Oh, and he had that Thursday night football game against Detroit when he caught the Hail
They
Mary.
caught the Hail Mary. Yeah.
Iconic. That kind of put him
He
on the map.
tracked that ball for
Yeah.
45 yards. It was awesome. Anyway, we're getting too deep in the woods here. Into the weeds, as they say on the podcast.
We've
Shout
got
out,
the host
shout
right in
out-
our room.
shout out Into the Weeds podcast.
Thank you for visiting, Amber.
Amber in studio.
I don't want to get
yesterday.
too far into the weeds.
All right. Well, Monday night game, competitive
mid.
defensive battle.
6 out of 10. 6 out
yeah.
of 10 game.
Wasn't like horribly
6 out of 10
boring.
game.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was entertaining. I like defense.
seen
I like
better.
the sacks.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
fumbles. Like madness is happening. I like it. I'm
A lot
we're
of-
for
It
K-
looks
lot of
like
great
it's really
defensive
back
plays.
and forth then.
There
Yeah.
was.
It's like, oh, they're getting some shots in. Now the defense is getting some hits in.
It was
It's fun
competitive. It
for
never
fun
really
watch.
felt like at any point like, oh, one team's gonna win this until like the Rams, they would kick the field goal down 23-12 to try to go for the onside kick. And I'm like, well, you're relying on an onside kick. You're probably
They were either
it's
way.
done.
Like if they scored a touchdown,
Yeah.
you still need it. It's like, but you were so conservative early to start the game that you're trying to make up for it later in the game, and it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Just not going to work.
Let's quickly do
Well-
heroes and zeros before we
Yep.
head on our first break. My zero, Sean McVay. Sean McVay, man. That's my zero, just for not going.
Yeah,
forward
that's a
on
great
fourth down.
zero, brother.
Like
It's a great zero.
that game would have been so much better if the Rams got in the end zone. That could have been like
Yeah.
an 8-9 out of 10 game.
I
If
kind
both
of
teams
got
were
to
scoring.
agree with you, caveman. That's
Because that would
That's
have
a
just
coaching-
turned into a shootout. Would have been Mike McDaniels versus Sean McVay. See, you're trying to get your boys open because they have so many weapons.
Cooper
on
Kupp
that
and
team.
Puka Nacua are getting open.
Yeah, it's really just who's going to get in the end zone. The Tua and Stafford,
It's true.
McVay,
I like that
McVay
zero a
versus
lot, dude. I
McDaniel.
love that. I'm
That
right
was
with
a
caveman
great
on that
matchup.
zero. HG.
My
My
hero though, Tua using his head once again.
Dude,
to
did you
get
see
kneed in
him?
the head,
Good
dude.
job. Dude, caveman's on fire. Yeah.
He
He
got
stuck
kneed
his
in the head.
noggin in there. Weeble wobble. Doesn't want to fall down. Put his shoulder pad into somebody.
Got kneed in the side of the head, right in the temple. I don't. Nobody would have been mad if you just tried to push him out of bounds.
Did you see his boys too on the sideline? Like, bro,
I couldn't be able to watch him
What
play
are you
with them on
doing?
the field. I wouldn't be able to watch him play.
it's tough, dude.
As a Dolphins fan, I would be shivering watching him.
I
drop
follow Gumpy on Pat's podcast. He does some elite Twitter content. I follow him. Big time Dolphins fan. Shout out Gumpy. Dude. Like he posted like the slow-mo of like the
it's
because he has
bad.
all 22 and like obviously the McAfee
yeah.
show has all the NFL stuff. Dude, like I mean, it was full-blown crown of the knee to the head.
Yep.
And
Like
he's like,
ear hole,
we
huh?
need to something something needs to change with that guy in our team. Like,
because there's
why is
nowhere
this
else.
happening?
I do
The guy
respect
that
like
picked it's just
you
trying to
threw a
run.
pick, like
Yeah.
like not giving up and like letting the and trying to make the tackle. But I mean, come on, I think you're in a unique situation where your teammates can be like, maybe just like let us try and do it,
Like there was guys there. Like he didn't,
Yeah.
if he was just like slow to the corner, there was still like somebody like wall him off.
He
Yeah,
would have
It's
probably
like
just
gone
walked
out of bounds, just went out of bounds. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they had forced him to the sideline. Like he was going out regardless. I don't think he needed to make that tackle. But part of a competitor,
Yeah, shout out.
He said
to
he's a
him,
war.
man.
Dude, he was up on that podium, dude, like eyes locked in with the like, no, I'm not wearing the toad cap.
Yeah, we
on-
watched the clip of the 1 week of the Rebel experience. You weren't there. It was like 2 weeks ago when this happened, but 2-3 weeks ago now. But he seemed serious.
He was serious, man.
I was
I'm
kind of
like, I commend
questioning
you.
it, but he
I-
was ready to go.
Hey, man. See, but to me though, dude, like people can, like, yeah, it's scary and all that. You never want to see somebody get like really injured, like where it's life threatening like that, especially with concussions and how CTE works, dude. But if you're a warrior and you like, hey, I'm going out on the sword, bro, you get the free shout out to it. Like, hey, thank you. As a fan, like really, like there's so many mediocre quarterbacks. You got a quarterback who's willing to risk it like that, dude. Good job.
Mhm.
Like, it's hard.
That's what you want right there.
What more could you ask for from your quarterback? Like,
Yep.
talk about being a leader from like the top down. You know what I mean? Like everybody. Like now, what's your excuse? Backup linebacker who might just be dinged up in the shoulder. Like our quarterback's going out there
I'm battling.
battling.
Yeah,
you know?
I think it is good for team morale.
Very
Uh,
good.
Definitely. I mean, when your QB is just like fearless like that, even against his own good, I mean, it does. It should fire up the guys around him, make them play better. That's why I genuinely believe, just because of Tua's competitiveness, the Dolphins have a shot
Yeah, because
to go on a run.
second place in the AFC East, right
Yeah.
up for grabs. Because they already lost 2 to the Bills, so they can secure a second place spot, and get a wild card. 3 wins gets them 2
Yeah.
spots away from it.
I mean, and you look at some of the teams that are going to be wild cards ahead of them. Broncos, I mean, rookie quarterback. I would love to see us make it, but nothing guaranteed there. We do still have a couple difficult matchups coming up. Chargers have a gauntlet ahead of them. Some real tough games coming up. I mean, Cincinnati, just in one of the toughest divisions in football.
Another-
Just a real struggle for for them down the stretch. They're gonna have some tough matchups too. A team like the Colts is still technically in the mix. Like I don't think you should feel threatened by that. So I mean, like the Dolphins are a better team than the Colts. Like if we're being real.
Oh, totally.
They just had they just unfortunately had Tim Boyle the week they played them, and so that's the Colts have a tiebreaker on them in that sense. But I don't think that'll really come into play. Also, Flacco's not playing any better than Anthony Richardson, so it's like now it's like, all right, what are we doing? I mean, you could just be losing with Richardson out there on the field and be figuring something out. The Flacco experiment's clearly not working.
Yeah,
All
it
right,
had some flashes.
back to heroes and zeros. My hero is going to be the Miami Dolphins defense.
There you go.
Bend but don't break.
Yeah.
How
Got the
like
stops they needed.
There you
I
go.
mean, the Rams were just better offensively than the Dolphins, and yet gave up no touchdowns, put them in some difficult kicking situations. So we had a missed kick there. Yeah, they never got disparaged or got down on themselves when the Rams moved the football, and they always rallied on these drives and made them end in 3 or end in punts. My zero, it's going to be Matthew Stafford, the guy. I mean,
Ooh, that's bold.
293 yards, but
Bold
threw the
strategy,
ball
Cotton.
46 times, and it was just like you're moving the ball, but then you're not making the throws when you needed to on third down. Guys are, when it's 3rd and long, and you throwing picks or you're fumbling the football. I mean, he had 3 turnovers. He threw an interception, fumbled the ball twice, and
Yeah.
he was
Not
got
good.
sacked 4 times. And it was like on the passing downs where it mattered, the Dolphins were able to shut him down. So that's going to be my zero. I did also put together a little top 10 list of teams after week 10. My ranking system. You might disagree with me on this, but if you're on the bye week, you're disqualified. You can, make it back on the list the week after that. And then also, if you lose, you're not going to make it on the list, but you can always make it back on the list if you can win again next week. So keep that in mind. But with this ranking system, the top 10 teams
This is our rankings.
that did win.
This is our rankings.
Yeah.
This ain't your mom and pop's
Nah.
rankings.
This is the HG list.
That's
The
right.
Get on
HG
it.
rankings. So we're going to obviously have to go to Kansas City Chiefs. You're 9-0. Find a way to win every week. It's just,
Voodoo
ridiculous.
magic. They're
Look-
sacrificing like 5 years off their life.
They
before
really
every
are.
week of
They
this
really
game.
are. Yeah.
Yeah.
They really are.
And I mean, I'm just pissed that the Broncos lost this way still, but you got to admit the attention to detail and finding something this
Yeah.
exploitable
It's true.
that you can use to, in a game winning type of situation. That's championship pedigree right there. I mean, that's details that other teams do that often overlook. And that's why, they're always in contention late January into February, and most other team seasons are ending in December, ending in November even. Number 2, we're going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I like it.
Maybe not Russell Wilson's flashiest day of passing, but on the road, he leads a comeback drive. They were able to overcome some early mistakes, a failed 4th down conversion, some turnovers that really gave the Commanders some short fields that helped them get up. I mean, besides that, Commanders weren't really able to move the ball all too well on this defense. And then a team that didn't get down on themselves after some mistakes, left them in the hole. Veteran QB like Russell Wilson leads a game-winning drive, and then they get them to jump off sides on 4th and 1. You can just see it out there. They're having fun.
Yeah.
Teams that are having fun are dangerous.
I haven't seen Russell Wilson hype and dancing. He was dancing in the middle of the field after they got that.
He was busting
that
some
call.
moves after he got
Yeah.
him to jump off sides.
Yeah.
Where was this while you were in Denver, Russ? But I digress.
He took 3 years
Yeah.
off, man. He just
Uh-huh.
sat and chilled in watched the views in Colorado or
Yeah.
something, dude.
My number 3 team going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. This defense is starting to come to life. I know my favorite for defensive rookie of the year is Jared Verse, but I do want to give some appreciation to Quinyon Mitchell. Maybe not the same stats, but that's just because he's really good in coverage.
He really is,
I mean,
man.
teams aren't throwing his way that much, and
No.
it's hard to put up stats when the ball's not coming to you.
Yeah.
And that, honestly, sometimes being quiet and not hearing your name called as a defender is just a really good thing when you're in the secondary, because
Especially as a rookie.
yeah, that just means the ball's not not coming your way. It's not on your side of the field often. And so defense is coming to life for Philly. That offense is rolling. And I mean,
Just a stat.
Devontae, yeah, I mean, you got the best running back they've probably had in the Jalen Hurts era with Saquon Barkley, and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are playing like that level that they did in 2022. I mean, right now that I'd say this version of the Eagles offensively is better than what they had in 2022. I think their defense is a little bit worse, but not by much. And they're starting to figure it out. That pass rush is starting to come alive. That's why the Eagles get my number 3 spot. Jimmy is losing his mind off the camera here.
Bears released guard Nate Davis, and I couldn't wait. I really just couldn't wait to see Kenny Clark versus Nate Davis for the Bears.
Ah, dang.
They released him. Anyway, I'm sorry.
That would have been a cool match.
I wanted to show Caveman. I just saw it on my phone.
Yeah, Caleb Williams might have gotten sacked, 18 times if he was still there. It's probably why they did it. Number 4 is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. Defense is struggling for them, kind of uncharacteristic for the Baltimore Ravens, but the fear Lamar Jackson strikes in the other teams, and that this offense and Derrick Henry can strike on the other teams. I mean, that's why the Bengals went for 2.
Oh, yeah.
You can't criticize Zach Taylor for doing that. They should have gotten another chance, but we covered that on the Monday show. But he was going for 2 because you, in your heart, believe, like you just genuinely, with no doubt in your mind, know that if Lamar Jackson has that ball first, you're not getting a chance to put your offense on the field and win that game. If he gets that ball, I mean, teams have no confidence that they can stop them from going down and scoring. Yep. He's playing at an MVP level right now. I think he's playing better than he did last year. So
much better.
Yeah. And now you've got the King down there having one of his best seasons of his career. Number 5, the Buffalo Bills. A little sloppy to begin with, but they overcame that and then dominated the Colts on the road. Garbage time touchdown made that game look closer than this. The Arizona Cardinals, man. It's another team where defensively there's not a lot of guys that jump off on paper. I'm a huge Kaiser White fan. I love Kaiser White. Buda Baker.
Poached my boy from the Saints, dude.
Buda Baker has been one of the top safeties in the league. Just kind of overlooked because he's down there in Arizona. A quiet division winner, though. They're 6-4. They've just dominated their last 2 opponents by a combined score of, I think it was 60 to 15. Like, it just, I was the Bears and the Jets, keep in mind. But yeah, this is what good teams do. You're supposed to dominate the bad teams, and that's what the Cardinals have been doing. They've really got something to unlock with that run game and Kyler Murray using his legs and that. Number 7, Los Angeles Chargers. Defense is, again, really quietly underrated. And Herbert, he's getting healthy. Those pass numbers have been steadily climbing. Really like the Los Angeles Chargers.
Watch Herbert, man.
Yeah.
He's like, they're kind of turning him into Lamar. He's getting some QB
he was looking
runs.
good with the legs there, though,
He's
honestly.
getting QB designed runs and throwing.
Number 8, they took a big drop here, but we still got to put the Detroit Lions on here. Just, something that you got to say about that, when you throw 5 interceptions, you have like 6 turnovers, you're down 15 points in the second half. A lot of teams, they just give up there. They roll over and quit.
Usually,
and that's what's different about the Lions, is that they, like, all these things went wrong and they just fought back and won the game. Ultimately, they didn't roll over and die and quit. That's why I think they can be that's just one of those intangible things that doesn't show up on film or in the stats, but it's just like that heart and that fight that they have there. It's championship competitiveness.
Yes.
Number 9, the San Francisco 49ers, another team. Things didn't go great on special teams. You had your receiver punching your long snapper and kicker. And I mean, ultimately it worked because he made his next kick after that. Got the W, and they're on there. And then we're going to put Minnesota Vikings, so they're 7-2. They did get the win. They didn't look great, but you got to win to get on the list. And so we're putting them on here.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a solid there.
Solid top 10.
The HG list. I like it. Going into week 11, that's our top 10 for Till the Final Whistle.
I'll be making a list every week with these same parameters. So come back next week. It could be a very different list. It probably will be a very different list.
Saints are going to be number one next week, boys.
The Darren Rizzi effect.
All that and much more next until the final whistle on Military Broadcast Radio.
That desert sun, it burns my eyes. It burns your picture in my mind. It brings the chaos that I find. Feels like I'm running out of time.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back. We are live. Military Broadcast Radio.
Welcome back.
Till the final whistle. Caveman to my left. HG Mercury with his list to my right. He's making a list and checking it twice. He's going to find out who's naughty or nice. We will let you know until the final whistle on MBR. All right, boys, what do we got next? You want to do some college basketball and NBA updates? It's still early in the season for college basketball
But
and
it's
the NBA.
awesome. It's just
But
November.
it's jam-packed, boys.
Kentucky upsets Duke in both of their third games of the season.
Yep.
It's only November, and this college basketball season's on a great start so far.
It is.
That game was, dude, the last few minutes was just back and forth.
Back and forth,
Lead
man.
changes.
Kentucky
all
covered
down.
6.5 point spread. The total went under.
What was the
Yeah.
point total on that one? 'Cause it was-
6.5 for Duke.
Oh, okay. That final was 77-72.
Yep. That
Kentucky got him.
and the total in that game was 159 and a hook.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duke got killed in the second half, only scored 26 points. Even though it was kept so close, they had a 11-point lead going into the half.
Yep.
Lost it.
Yep. Cooper Flag, freshman
Costly
sensation.
turnovers.
Some costly turnovers down at the end of the game really cost them. A couple turnovers. His handle's kind of shaky. I think he's just so slow. It's a slow adjustment for some of these freshmen getting into his shot. It was just so slow watching him sometimes getting into it. He can make a good move off the dribble. He gets in the middle and they just sort of collapse that defense. And he kind of was like, like they jumped me. And so he picked the ball up, but he lost his dribble, kind of where that ball should go from there. They kind of messed him up a little bit defensively. Hey, how about Kentucky not getting out-coached soon as John Calipari leaves? Good job. Man. Good job, Kentucky, dude. You get the free shout out of this.
They got Matt Pope is their head coach.
They're actually
now?
playing defense.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Good job, that's what I was going to say. Like, this Kentucky team, so much better than I actually thought now under some new coaching after a crazy upset last season and just multiple years in a row of getting upset in the tournament.
They lost to Robert Morris in the NIT in the opening round with the Morris twins.
Yeah.
As 21-point favorites.
Yeah.
Brother.
John Calipari. Shout out Arkansas.
And they have a really deep roster.
They do.
They have a pretty big rotation this early in the season compared to Duke. So, I mean, you're going to see early, what they're going to kind of be working with when we get later in the season because they got a lot of guys playing right now.
Yep.
And we were talking about the turnovers for Cooper Flag. Still 26 and 12.
Still, he's a beast.
9 for 19.
His
3-point his shooting was where it was kind of lax. He's 1 for 5 from 3.
Yeah, 1 from 5 from 3.
He did well from the free throw line.
Yeah.
And those assists. Once
His
you pick up your
mid-range.
dribble, it's like a quarterback.
Hard.
Time to make a read.
It's hard, dude.
Because everybody's rotating.
Court smaller in college basketball.
Way smaller.
So like the spacing, in the pro game, that kid's going to be.
He was out there training with the
interesting.
USA team over the summer, and he's a good freshman
I just
in
see
college.
the signs. I don't know, like project his game a couple months after playing.
This tends to
pretty
happen
good.
with a lot of basketball prospects where they're just
Early
so
on.
hyped, but it's like, come on,
Yeah.
once the competition starts getting as good as them, it's like, they're kind of used to just destroying everybody, and it's like, all right, well, these guys are just as good as you. Can you?
You're going to be
withstand that pressure.
There's always an adjustment. Look at
Yeah.
Zion. Zion had that same. I remember he played Miami, and Zion got bullied on the floor.
Yeah.
I think he had like 8
I was
points.
about to point out Zion, and
Yeah.
it was like, he's a good example of that.
Yeah.
He was unstoppable in college until
First
people
half
made
of the
those
season, it was tough, and then
Yeah.
got out there and started playing more, and you're like, oh, yep, okay, I see it, I know what all the hype was about.
Yeah. Still a crazy college career for Zion.
And he's still on the Pelicans.
Yeah, he did not
he
get
did not
traded.
get traded.
You little rascal, come on.
The Kansas-Michigan State game was also pretty solid.
Kansas, man.
47-45 scoring in that second half.
Number 1 ranked team in the country right now.
They were hurting last year,
Yeah.
last 2 seasons without Christian Brown. But, they're still a really good team. It's too early to kind of say that they're going to get upset in the first or second round of the tournament.
Who knows?
Even though they're 1 seed, but
That's
it's
the
March Madness.
best part about March Madness. It's carnage and chaos as a tournament. That's
We
the
love
whole.
it.
That's the best part about
We're here
college
for
sports, man. There's the chaos of it all. We're going to be here covering it all the way.
We
With these
Very-
new conferences,
Very
there's gonna
early
be
in the
a lot
season.
of changes
Has
with these rankings.
has the new Pac-12 taken into effect yet for college basketball or no?
I believe so. Let me actually check here on the
I'm gonna
standings.
pull up.
But still, I mean, yeah, you've got obviously like, teams like Oregon's going to be in the
So yeah, Arizona,
Big
Arizona
12,
State,
Big 10.
Colorado are in the Big 12, which gives a very good matchup for Kansas. Arizona is going to be an
Ooh,
amazing.
yeah.
Oh, that's going
12
to be
matchup.
interesting. Yeah.
I want to see what Houston does in the Big 12 this year as well with all these new teams. Colorado kind of coming in as an underdog. We'll see what happens. That's going to be interesting. One I wanted to check out was kind of the Big East. They're kind of the smaller teams. That's Creighton, Marquette, Providence, Seton Hall. They usually sneak in there. Marquette, pretty solid team. I want to see how their turnaround goes after losing in the tournament last year. There's a lot of conferences for basketball, though,
Yeah.
that are
No,
in
it's-
D1.
yeah.
What we
It's
tried to
packed.
do a segment last season to pick a conference winner for each conference tournament. We didn't realize there's 32 conferences in
Yeah, in
college
division.
basketball.
There's a lot.
It took a long
It gets
time. for us to
ridiculous.
break
It
that
does,
down.
man. And those tournament time, like leading up into March Madness, you watch some of those mid-major tournament games, it is absolute chaos watching. Like the Summit League Championship, every year it's an overtime game.
The Ivy League last year. The
Yeah.
Ivy
Was
League tournament
electric.
last year.
Oh
was
my
crazy.
goodness.
And it's like the
Ivy League
slowest
dudes.
basketball you'll ever watch.
Dude,
in
oh,
your
It's
life.
right.
like 56.
They have to
they're
pass
running-
it 15 times before they're allowed to shoot.
Yeah, they're running like a 1950s offense.
Offense. Yeah.
And
They're,
they're like-
they're still doing like precision bounce passes to like in
Yep.
the perimeter, you know.
Dude, like this,
All right.
you got dudes out there, they're studying to be like, a lawyer. And then they're out here beating guys on Auburn, Yale
Yeah.
upsetting Auburn. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Majoring in law, minoring in buckets, I suppose.
That's it. That's right. That's a good
love that.
analogy.
It's early in the season, but it's already shaping up to be another great,
Yeah,
Ca-
dude.
crazy
College
year.
basketball is always
We,
awesome. It's one of my favorite sports. by the way.
another huge matchup that we got coming up Friday. It's Alabama Purdue.
When do all
That's gonna
the
be
when do all
major.
those funny little tournaments start? Like the Maui Invitational. Do you guys know? Is that like
Those
Christmas time?
are pretty
Right-
much
right around-
like
is that like December?
it's
I
before
thought
they,
they
do all the
started-
NIT stuff. I think it's either kind of before they're getting into their tournament play for the actual March
I
Madness.
think you're right. I think it is like
No,
December
like the
to
Maui
January.
Invitation. It's like they have that Big Ten SEC matchup where it's like before all the conference play starts. I thought they always started
Oh.
like before
I think
the
you're
real
right.
season really got
that
going. I
might
thought they
be
started
Because
like
it's
right around like
All
Thanksgiving.
conference play, that's like January.
It's
It's
like
like
December, January time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
It
think
could
you're right.
be
It's
now because that's the
That's what I
Alabama
thought.
Purdue matchup.
for the
Really
huge
could
one, yeah.
be. There's Florida State,
Because they're always on like neutral courts too. Like
That's
Ohio
true, yeah.
State, and
You know,
Texas A&M.
That's gonna
that's
be
gonna be a
another
really
great
good
one.
game. Yeah. Texas A&M. Buzz Williams, the coach there at Texas A&M, gets his boys ready to play.
It's these new conferences I think is just like already the most chaotic of the college sports.
Is,
It's gonna get even more chaotic.
is Gonzaga going to be
The most
Big
chaotic
12 this
tournament.
year?
I think
We'll see, I
Gonzaga's
mean-
going
Nope,
to the
they
Ma-
did not.
they're not
Gonzaga's going to be they're going to be Pac-12.
Pac-12. That's right. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let
I
me
don't think
see
the
if
real
they're
Pac-12
actually-
has actually started yet for college
No.
basketball.
No, I don't think that's not going to go into effect until
Until
like 2025.
five
So
next
like I
year,
think the
yeah.
start of that
Dang.
season, yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna because Gonzaga kind of just dominates their conference. They're usually like the best team in that. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Like, okay, now are they in they're in a more competitive conference? Are they really
Right.
all that,
Right.
or are they not just are they just beating up and on all their inferior conference opponents? I
Yeah.
mean, they do well in the tournament, so it's like obviously they're not like a joke program, but like, are we going to see this like same level of Gonzaga dominance and presence in the March Madness tournament? That's something I want to keep an eye out on when conference realignment happens. I did also just want to throw it over a little bit to some of the women's college hoops that's got going on because we still got some absolute ballers that
Caitlin-
didn't go into
Caitlin-
the draft.
Caitlin Clark's playing for Iowa again this year.
No, but I mean, you got one of her best
Iowa
rivals was Juju Watkins at USC.
USC,
Absolute bucket getter. Scored 51 points in the game last season. Scored 51 of her team's 65 points in the game last season. So
interesting.
Yeah. Nuts
Oh my god!
point getter.
And they beat Cal State Northridge 124-39 yesterday.
Jeez.
USC did. Oh my
Smacking teams.
god!
Paige Buecher is still down there in UConn. They beat Boston U 86-32 in South Florida 86-49. Now they got a huge top 25 matchup coming up this Friday against number 14th ranked North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Dawn Staley and the girls down in South Carolina coming off an undefeated championship run. She's back there. Opened up the season in the Hall of Fame series in Vegas, 68-62 victory over Michigan. And then against the 9th ranked NC State Wolfpack that still got Isaiah James there.
Yes,
They crushed them 71-57. It's a pretty big win against a top 10 team.
This early too.
Yeah.
Good one.
The Lady Fighting Irish, they're
not
they're
bad.
6
They're
there.
not
Yeah.
bad. I am an IU Hoosier basketball fan because that's what it is where I grew up. Like Bob Knight for Indiana Hoosiers, like God level. And, the guy from Notre Dame back in the 90s, my old head coach. I'm blanking on his name. I feel bad now. But it's like Notre Dame football and IU basketball where I grew up. I'm a big IU guy. I'm a big IU guy.
Men's Indiana, they're ranked 16. I'll have to check where
They're
women's
kind
Indiana
of
stands.
they're super mediocre, dude. I'll be talking about Indiana Hoosier basketball a little bit later, but I'm gonna let the season get going a little bit because they're a team that always sort of like takes advantage of like these smaller teams and they play in the Big Ten. They just don't match up. I don't like our Woodson as our coach. He's just too old. He's an NBA assistant forever, Team USA guy, but I just don't like it. We have a couple good players. We just haven't used the transfer portal good. We got decimated by, the draft. We had a couple guys go to the draft. So it is what it is there. I don't think we're going to be that good this year.
Another team to watch on the women's side, Texas, they still got Madison Booker there. Those are like your top 4 teams. They absolutely demolished SE Missouri 119-47. And now they just crushing blowout against an inferior opponent.
Are they going to be on ESPN at all now that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese aren't fist fighting each other at half court?
Well, I mean,
in women's basketball,
if they do, pretty disrespectful because it's just the sport is not. Casual basketball fans watch women's basketball because of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah,
let's be real.
Yeah. Like the overwhelming majority, like, is that something?
I mean, the tournament's always on ESPN.
Yeah, the tournament is. Yeah, I'm just talking about like regular season games. I'm like, man, like I'd love to watch Juju in a regular season game. I had no idea who she was until last year during tournament time.
Yeah,
most of them, unfortunately, for like,
I think
basketball goes on like their network channels.
Yeah,
like the own end. Yeah, I hear you.
Like Big Ten network.
Yeah, Big Ten
stuff.
network.
I mean, I think you might still be able to see some of the bigger, like, top 10 matchups, like if
UConn.
Yeah, if UConn and
Stanford play
USC ran into each other, like Buchers versus Watkins,
Juju,
you'd want to put that up
Put
there.
it on TV.
The opening night, the South Carolina Michigan was on ESPN.
Okay,
and that was a pretty close game.
South Carolina is probably the best team in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Dawn Staley, she's the
Not
best
the best
coach in
coach.
women's college basketball,
Right.
definitely.
Yep.
I mean, like the run that they've been on recently, like multiple undefeated seasons, undefeated title runs, and just like how deep they go into the tournament every year. Like,
They haven't lost a game since the championship of the tournament 2 years ago.
yeah, that the semifinals of last year's March
Caitlin
Madness, because they got
Clark,
knocked out
yeah.
by Caitlin Clark
Caitlin Clark.
before the championship.
Yep.
So they haven't lost a game in quite some time.
Yeah, it's been like almost 2 years, and they're off to a 2-0 start. See if they can continue. They did lose Cardoza.
There's like some OG women's UConn runs when their team
Yeah,
is just stacked.
yeah, they might be like the
Taurasi
new,
and all of them.
the kind of that new dynasty in women's hoops for sure. I know they did lose Cardoza, but you got Phil Wiley still there, Raven Johnson, Tessa Johnson. I mean, Tina Pow.
Oh,
some of those
man,
big
Pow
role
Pow.
players that I think are going to.
Pow in the tournament was
Ashland
cooking from
Watkins.
3, dude.
Yeah, I mean they lost Cardozo, but they still got essentially like a lot of those like real crucial players that have stepped up. Nobody, the team did get a little smaller without here after Cardozo's departure. Their next closest tall player is Samika Walker. She's a senior at 6'5". So I mean, not terribly.
There's not too many
too
6'7"
smaller, but-
women out there.
Yeah.
So trying to replace Cardozo is impossible.
That's tough. Yeah, she was just a physical unit inside. It's going to be a great year of college hoops on both sides of the gender spectrum.
Oh yeah,
We're going to
be awesome.
obviously do our March Madness community bracket again. Mr. Covers, you weren't here for that, but back in
It'll be a fun show.
I'm the elite boys.
oh
We
yeah,
did a
we're gonna
long- it was a long episode that
gonna-
day.
we
picked
streamed for
both brackets. I think we were live for like 5 hours that
something
day.
like that. Yeah, because we did.
love doing that, dude.
It was
I
like
love
everybody,
I love streaming
people
for
got
that
to joined in, and we basically, it was like the MBR community bracket. We just voted, matchup by matchup. I don't know, like when we had ties, we flipped a coin. I don't know if we have a better way to do a tiebreaker that we might decide on that, but
Yeah, we flipped H Train's presidential coin that he got
I
from
like
the
it.
Olympics.
That's cool.
that was
And
pretty
we had a
sick. though, yeah.
tiebreaker. That's a sick coin.
a sick
I don't know
coin.
if it's still in here, but I'll ask him about it later. Now that I've thought
Yeah,
about
make
that.
sure you're there for that though.
Oh,
Yeah,
After
that's good.
selection
I'm not going
Sunday,
though.
we're gonna be putting together the MBR community bracket. We might also start, like we got the pick 'em this year. We might do like
Yeah, we got to
a MBR like bracket. We'll do an
Yeah.
MBR bracket thing
We'll
too
come
for
up with
listeners to
something for the
join.
boys.
Gonna be a lot of fun.
You guys
for the
want to shoot
tournament coming
over?
up.
Shoot over to the NBA real
Yeah,
quick.
let's
Let's
go over the
do it.
NBA. Dude, we had
The
a
NBA Cup
fan-
started.
fantastic game last night between the Mavericks and the Warriors.
Yeah.
I want to start with that because it was Clay's return to the Bay.
What
And-
a game.
I just got to give a shout out to the Warriors organization and their fan base and that the city of San Francisco.
You guys are real for that.
Honestly, probably one of the least annoying dynasty teams that we've seen, and they're very classy, man. I mean, it could have been real easy to just boo Clay and hate on him because he's coming in to play you.
They don't
but-
really do that in the NBA.
I mean, I've seen it though. Like
I have.
Kyrie, he steps foot in
I think
Boston.
he
and
does
it's-
it to himself. Though.
Kyrie in Boston.
Like, that was a guy
I
who did
mean,
it to himself.
Even Kyrie in Brooklyn probably gets booed.
I
Because
think
he was
so.
just
But
injured.
I
and
mean,
then
like
dipped.
they're
that might just be Kyrie. though.
that's. I think that's
Guys,
more on the
Kyrie.
player rather than running themselves out of town. I mean, like Clay won 4 NBA championships there.
That's
you're not
true.
you're not gonna boo that.
Yeah.
You
Fans
know?
love him there.
His
I mean,
number is
dude-
going to be freaking retired in the raft
dude,
as soon as he
They
8
played
minutes
a,
after he
a tri-
retires.
they
he's
played a
in-
tribute video to him. They had
Yeah, I saw that. It was
captain's
pretty good.
hats
Yeah, everyone had the
passed out through the
captain's
for
hat.
Pretty
Captain
good.
Clay.
Yeah, Captain Clay. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
a
just
great game.
Golden
The-
State
like,
9-2.
obviously they
really
wouldn't-
good start to the season.
Obviously they wouldn't hate on him,
Wow.
but just the level of love, man, it had me, a little tear out. I was like, that's really.
They should have really gotten rid
that's
of him
really
3
nice.
years ago, but it's okay.
Well, I mean,
He
they
got
won the
injured.
championship in 22 with him there.
Yeah, they did
Yeah.
win. in
It was
Yeah.
just last year, you just kind
After
of had
he-
the fall
yeah,
off, and it was like, all right.
after his injury. Yeah.
Then the business aspect of it came out,
Definitely.
but
Bob Myers left.
it was good to see them still giving them appreciation
Right at
and
the
love
top
from
of the
city.
Western Conference, Phoenix 9-2, Denver 7-3, OKC 9-2. Southwest Division with Houston, Memphis kind of boggled with Dallas there 5-6.
Like I said,
Lakers
West
6-4.
going to be
Is
a
it the
bloodbath.
NBA, the little
It's the NBA
Captain's Cup. or whatever,
Yeah.
NBA Cup?
The
That's
uh,
going on
the
right now?
Emirates,
The NBA Cup now.
Emirates
Whatever
Cup,
they called
yeah.
it.
So yeah,
They
that's
really named it the Emirates Cup. Just
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
sell yourself
Let's
out
just
to Dubai.
sponsored by Emirates.
Let's
yeah.
just
well,
sell
it's-
out to Dubai.
yeah, they're the airline, Emirates Airlines sponsoring it. Which,
Just the
whatever.
Emirates airline owned by the
Yeah,
Dubai government. No big deal.
And we're
Dubai's
back
a
to those
city. You mean the
ugly-
United
The-
Arab?
yeah,
Arab
the
Emirates.
whole
Yeah,
it's Dubai.
I mean, yeah, that's
It's
Because yeah, Dubai.
That's
it's
the big
it's all
city.
desert except for Dubai. So,
yeah, exactly.
and then you got
But
the Saudi.
yeah, that started last night, so that's going to conclude with
I like the
semifinals.
courts, man. I like how their courts.
They're a
do-
lot
They did
better this
from
year.
last
I like
year.
it.
They
They
were
were
ugly
last year. They were
man.
just too bright. I'm like,
They're way
oh my
too
god,
bright.
this is like
You're getting a headache.
nauseating.
And they made new uniforms for it that were also too bright. So it was really just people that blended in with the court, dribbling
It was-
basketball,
The
giving
courts,
you a headache.
the courts are a lot
People
better
hated
this
on
year.
it
Yeah.
last year. They're nice this year though.
I like the colored floor, and it's just like it's toned down. I mean, it was like
Flare
they
it up
just
a little bit.
they didn't crank the contrast up to
Yeah.
100 when they
Max
were
out.
designing.
I saw a couple. I was like, I like it. I
Yeah.
saw the Bulls one that we're doing. And I'm like, okay, like, I mess with this. I
it's
like
much
it.
more like
Okay.
toned down.
It's like a black and red court. I'm like, this
Oh
is
my
That's
fire.
sick.
Yeah.
I think it was the
It's
Bulls
sick.
court like last year. The red was
It's
so, bright
Yeah, we
that
went
the
to black and
entire
red instead
the
of red.
entire arena just was like
All
had this
red.
red hue
Yeah,
to
hue
it.
to
You're
it.
like,
Yeah.
you're like, all right, this should not be altering the light of the entire arena. with how
Yeah.
bright-
Yeah.
It's like that guy in the 16th row up there. His face is red on the
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah.
It's
Like
hilarious.
it seriously looked like you were inside like when the place loses power and then those like red like
Oh,
emergency.
yeah,
light-
the-
it looked like you were
yeah.
in like that, like you're on like
That's
base
funny.
and like shit. It just gets shut down and they got the red emergency lights on.
Like
it was
the
like that
nuclear
bad.
Watch codes just
Yeah.
start hearing like a radio.
So for anybody that's confused on what the Emirates Cup is, it's the in-season tournament that started last night. You got your group play where teams selected from randomly based off of win percentage last year. There's 6 groups across each conference. They're going to play 2 home games, 2 road games in group play. The top team from each group and then 2 wild cards go on to the knockout rounds, and then you play single elimination games until there's 1 team left standing on December 17th, and then you get the Emirates Cup trophy or in-season tournament trophy. And that's what it's gonna come down to. If you had to give a prediction for this, guys, who do you think takes it this year? Last year it was the Lakers that won it.
Last year the Lakers, give me
Dude, I really
Phoenix Suns. They're kind of hot right now. Kind of a dark horse for me. I think in the offseason they did a really good job getting their depth back up. They sold their soul and a bag of chips for getting KD, Brad Beal, and Devin Booker all teamed up.
Yeah.
Nurkic down in the paint. They just needed they needed the 6 through 11 spot to get filled out. They kind of have the guys that might have some longevity for them. I think for the NBA Cup, though, give me the Suns coming out of the West.
I'm going to go with the Warriors because I think this might be the
They're
last
on fire,
championship that Curry wins.
The
I mean,
NBA Cup.
dude,
Give
he-
him one.
He's
gotta
still
do the
he's still
full
balling out, and
Grand
like this
Slam.
team's off to a really great start. But I just don't know. It just they have like surprised me starting off 9-2.
Oh, KD's
I'm still
injured.
just
I don't know
not
if I can keep
super
this up.
confident that this is going to be a championship caliber team. I don't know. Curry's like he has been one of the hottest players in basketball dating back to the Olympics, where he was just on an absolute tear. Dropped 37 last night. Vintage Curry moment where he hit the dagger 3 to essentially seal it. Or, I mean, like, Dallas, what are you doing having Derek Lively get switched on to him in this situation?
Yeah, it's the
Did the best
perfect-
he could, but I mean, that's barbecue chicken right there. I mean,
That's best case scenario for a shooter like Steph.
Curry's eating good in that situation. Come on.
When the Lakers won it last year, I got a little thing here. When the Lakers won it last year, their offensive rank was 8th, their defensive rank was 11th, and they still won the play, whatever that was. So I'm gonna go down the board a little bit. A team that's like off the cuff, still in the Western Conference. How about the Sacramento Kings?
Okay, I like that.
Offensive ranked 5th
I like
in the
that
NBA
pick.
right now. Defensive ranked 9th in the NBA right now. Sabo's getting healthy.
I like
Aaron
that.
Fox, they got shooting right now. The 3-point rank right now in the NBA is 5th. I mean, I don't know how serious some teams take this thing.
Yeah.
Well, I
You
think
know what I mean?
it
Like, I
kinda-
just really don't. I think it's a
Yeah.
gimmick right now. And I think you have to, what the Lakers showed last year, if you want to, if you
Yeah.
really want to win it,
Well, that's why
you can win it.
that's why
And
I
they
went with
were
the-
awful going into it last year.
They didn't have a good start at all.
didn't have a
and
good start at all.
That's where they kicked it. They
sort of
played
kicked it
hard in the in-season tournament, and then once it got towards the end of the season again, is when the Lakers
still think
started
there's a
kinda
bit of an
This is
sliding.
why
adjustment
I
period
kind
for
of
this
went with the
thing.
Warriors. That's why I really like Caveman's Suns pick. It's because I feel like
Playoff pedigree
teams with
teams.
like younger superstars are like, all right, we're not like too focused on like we'll try somewhat, but like we're not going to wear ourselves out trying to win this because it's like we got young guys that we want,
You're playing for something
pl-
more
they're-
than
like
Emirates
a
Cup.
team, like a team
let's just
like
be honest.
that's got an Anthony Edwards, a team with like a Nikola Jokic, a Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Brunson, like teams like that can be like, we're playing for deep playoff success. But like teams with older superstars that used to be the guys in the league, and now they're still good, but obviously they've taken a back seat to some of the younger stars out there.
Yeah.
I think like those are the teams that are going to try harder to win it. Like let's try to add one more accolade for our boy Steph or for KD, whatever it is.
I just
like
don't know
the
how,
Lakers
how
probably
serious
did it
some
last
teams
year
are.
for LeBron.
Yeah, I just don't know how serious some. I mean, in the Eastern Conference, a team that maybe like, why not the Indiana Pacers or something?
They
like
played the
something-
Lakers for last year,
right? So I mean that's
But
just
again,
where I
like
was
the
going off
Pacers
of.
might now be like a team where it's like, all right, we're
Yeah,
not like,
we need to be playing for the NBA Finals.
yeah,
now.
like we almost
You got a
made
team
it
that
last
can
year.
go.
Like
They got a squad, man. I like their coach McMillan too.
Yeah.
If the Pacers win it, that really could help them, dude. Because Tyrese Halliburton.
Does this help anything? I'm sorry, guys. I got to get you off, caveman. Does this help? Does this matter when it comes to playoff?
I don't think it does. Like for
Is there like a
too much
special thing? Like, do you have a
standing.
tiebreaker in the play-in?
Oh no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
really just
Like-
it's really just a middle of the season like
Oh, so
bracket
this is
play
just a-
thing.
And
This is just
it's
a gimmick.
a
It's kind of just a
It's just a
really to
There's
get
a
the
cash
players
prize.
to want to play. Yeah, you get a cash prize.
oh,
So it's really for the
this is
players.
you get like
I thought you got.
I think
a
like everybody
tiebreaker
gets
or
like a
something.
$50,000 bonus, and it's in
For
Vegas.
whatever reason, I
I'm
thought
just gonna
that
say
would
though,
help
Jimmy, if this
Lakers.
existed in the '90s, Michael Jordan going to Las Vegas to play with a
Oh my
$50,000
gosh, dude.
cash reward, come
Yeah.
on, he would have dominated.
He would have
would've
just put
just
50K on black and just spin the wheel, dude. Like, what
He
are we
would've
talking
dominated,
about? Just
yeah.
dominated.
Yeah,
It's a gimmick.
It
NBA
could
needs money.
it could help out the
I-
Pacers though.
I do like
because
it that it
Tyrese
gives, like,
Halliburton's
more-
starting off.
it
Crappy.
does make like crappier teams try harder in the early part of the season. That was a big issue. Was like the kind of teams not trying as hard at the beginning of the season. This does ramp up the competitiveness a little early on in the season because like teams that might be missing the playoffs are like, well, maybe we can win the cup. There's a little bit more competitiveness there.
That's
So
fair.
whatever,
That's
it
good.
does
Yeah.
give us some more competitive early season games. So it's not.
Or they could just like
I'm not
cut the
really against
season
it.
in half
Yeah.
by 42 games, play them only once a week, and make every game matter and start the season way earlier.
They wouldn't do that because they want more money.
But then you can
Yeah.
extend the playoffs, which
Yeah.
means way more money, and everybody's playing because every game matters, and so nobody's taking a day off.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I know they would never do.
They
that.
wouldn't.
That's
do
too
that.
logical,
We'll-
caveman.
Man,
Why would they do
We
that?
just have too many logical points. Like,
One of
hey,
these-
you want to make the games matter? How about you don't play 45 back-to-backs?
That'll
Yeah.
help.
that would
It's
be
really
No big deal.
stupid
I
having
don't
to
know.
play the
that'd be a
same
crazy
team
idea.
back-to-back days, but you're in different cities playing the same team back-to-back days.
62-game
Why are
season
they
worked
doing
okay
that?
for Magic and Bird. I'm just saying.
That's true, man.
10 less games.
One
Every game
team
mattered.
that did not have a good start to this tournament and their season. Heat are 4-6 right now. Lost by 2 to the Pistons.
I gave out the under season win total for the Miami Heat, under 76.5 wins, boys.
They
Or
could-
excuse me, it was 56.5 wins.
It's
50
that high.
It was
really?
56.5 wins. Yes.
That's not
I
like
said, what did I say? I said, no, I was a lie. It was 50. I would have to look at my,
56.
it's 56.5.
Like
It's
40
adjusted. It's 47.5 now for the
Wow.
Miami Heat.
But when you took
Wow.
it, it was 56.
It was 56.5.
Because
That's a lot.
47 and 48 is right where I
They were
put this
third
team.
in the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference in betting to come out of the Eastern Conference to go to the NBA Finals this year.
the
That's
heck?
crazy. I like
Those
it.
Heat.
people
Third.
lost.
They're,
a lot
they're
of money.
playoff. It's a playoff rising team, but they're always like middle of the pack in the regular season. They're
Right.
one of they're like a team where it's like, yeah, you hate to get them round one because like they just turn into a different animal. Spoelstra and them and
They
Jimmy
made the
Butler.
finals
They,
back-to-back as an 8 seed.
yeah, they just coach. It's like a different level of play and coaching in the playoffs.
They're fifth
but
now.
regular season.
I don't know. I still
It's
don't even
wild.
get that. How are they fifth?
Yeah.
With Cleveland and
Well,
Philly's
we-
still going to be good.
They had
With
a
the,
really
uh,
bad debacle last night, though.
Indeed.
Tyler Hero, 40-point game from him, 14 of 27, 10 of 17 for 3.
He was
He
lighting
made-
up from 3.
He made 3 threes in a row to tie up this game and send it into overtime. And later on in the game, in the overtime period, Eric Spoelstra calls a timeout when the Heat don't have any left after the Pistons
got a
just
clip
hit
of
an inbound lob. So the Pistons made an inbound lob. There's 1.8 left on the clock with the chance to win it. And they call a timeout. It cause a technical foul. So they extend the lead up to 2 points instead of just one. With 1.8 left, they weren't able to get a clean enough shot up.
You want to check out this
That
Steph
was
Curry?
unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
We
So
do have
with
some
the
top
the
plays
start
for
of the
this
in-season
NBA
tournament, we just put together a little mini top plays of some of the best plays of night one of the in-season tournament.
We got Steph Curry.
Vintage
showing why.
Steph Curry
He's still
moment.
Steph Curry.
Oh, yeah.
Here's just what you want. They'll clear out. Doncic will defend Curry. A screen by Green. The switch to Lively. Three. Curry. Oh! Gafford will defend. Curry is double. Shot clock at 9. Oh, Grimes is raked out. Curry makes him pay with the 2.
Curry, no points in the fourth. Just 2 points in the fourth here. This is the time for Curry to kind of take over a little bit.
To make it a 1-point game. Final 2 minutes. Curry and Doncic. For the lead.
Could score 20 points on that team,
I'll say,
but their coaching has them all standing still while two people get to play off.
A lot of it is
That's
just
Tom
coaching.
Thibodeau.
That's
Tom Thibodeau.
Jason Kidd in Dallas.
Oh,
Thibodeau's New
that's,
York.
That's New. I thought
Yeah.
they were playing the New York.
Nah, they're playing the Mavericks. But
Oh,
I mean,
it's even worse. Jason Kidd. I mean, what are we doing?
Curry's that one guy
I
where
don't
it's like,
think
yeah,
he's a
you
good
can't
coach.
even you can't you gotta like attack him off the screens because like you just give him an inch of space, he can probably make that shot.
Stand next to him.
Which is
Yeah.
easy
You can't shoot
defense.
when you stand next to
Every team runs this drop coverage defense, so
Yeah.
it makes it offense pretty boring when you have like 3 steps of space. So shooters,
If
are
you
gonna
can
shoot
dribble the
when
ball
they're open.
77 times in 15 seconds and nobody,
Well,
like,
if nobody
steps up in front
steps
of you,
up, you don't even need
doing?
a dribble. You just walk down and shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying to get a better shot than just hucking up a 3.
great YouTube highlights though. Steph Curry, good job, man. Good stuff.
Big
There you go.
big
Celtics.
three down the way. Yeah, let's
Draws 2 on the baseline. Horford kicks it. Tatum, 2 minutes to play. White's 3 is good.
love the ball movement there.
Yeah.
That's I mean, they kept that team together and they're gonna be a threat. I was just,
Definitely.
I mean, it's like just knowing exactly where your guys are gonna be. That's team chemistry right there.
You guys think Giannis is good?
Yep.
You think
I
Giannis
mean,
is a good basketball player?
Yep.
Yeah, he's one of the better players in the league. He's leading the league in points per game.
Got to be pretty damn good at basketball when you're fucking 6'10" and almost 300 pounds. You know, you're gonna be good. He's better
Yeah.
than me. I know that. for
He's
sure.
better than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Well, some guy named Bruno just took his soul.
Spot of Dame at the point guard spot. He's out for the time being. Oh, wow. My goodness, where'd that come from, Fernando?
Wasn't that bad. I don't know. I thought that was
Shout out to the Bulls, Bruno Fernando. He's been in the league since like 2017.
that was the Bulls in the white jerseys.
He's
No,
not on
no,
the
that
Bulls
was the,
anymore.
okay.
who was
he
that?
was
They were
on the
playing-
Bulls for a long time. They played.
It was somebody bad. Like that.
Yeah, they didn't play anyone good. They
Was
played
it
the.
the-
They played the
That
freaking
bust?
Raptors.
Oh,
It was the
Raptors.
Raptors. Yeah, that's who it was. I was gonna say
They-
the Wizards.
Yeah, the
Scoot
2-10
Henderson. He was
Raptors.
a high draft pick a couple years ago, right? Scoot Henderson.
Yeah,
I think so.
crazy circus shot.
Henderson across into the lane. Snakes one up and in. Wow! Circus shot. Scoot Henderson, a 3-ring circus going up and under.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
Dude,
when you're on
he-
Portland, you're destined
Yeah.
to just have a terrible season.
He
I
had-
mean,
dude,
put him
he-
on any other basketball team besides
Bro,
Portland or Detroit, and he'll probably.
he
have a
had
better
one of
year.
the worst box minus, like plus minuses I've ever seen. Like in the it was like in a 60-point blowout loss. He was minus 56 in that game. I was like, there's no way that's real.
Shout out Sydney. The in-season tournament are so pointless to me. Me too, Sydney. Me too.
I think you gotta give it time. I think
Second
it'll just
year
get
of
even
Yeah, you
better.
gotta give
Yeah.
gotta give it time.
It's early on.
I'm just like I
Look, I'll still
Yeah.
take the in-season tournament over the Pro Bowl any day. I'm not
Oh
even
yeah,
gonna lie
for
to you.
sure. Oh, I would agree
The
with
Pro
that.
Bowl's
I
the
would agree
big.
with
It's just like a
that.
exposition week,
stupid.
dude.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
oh
it's
my
a, it's
God.
a two-hand touch thing. It's a skills competition.
Bro,
That's
the Madden games are more competitive in the Pro Bowl than the
Half the
actual.
people that are in it. You're like,
Oh my God, yeah.
Should you even be here?
All right,
we got one more. Mikal Bridges. Who's he play for now? Does he play
he's
for
on the Knicks.
Suns? Oh,
This is a cat highlight. This is like a Jokic-esque pass. You know, it's showing, hey, he's not the only big man that can dish the rock.
Well, that's something Tom Thibodeau, though, told us before the game, that he's a lot better.
He
Dude,
had Embiid.
Look what I found. Now
He couldn't even believe it. He was like, whoa.
He had Embiid and Drummond's number last night.
Oh, yeah.
He was cooking them up. But
Yeah, man.
Embiid back.
Is Embiid good?
NBA Cup. I thought,
good?
I
I don't
something
think
about
so.
the suspension.
I mean,
but he
he's-
played last night.
he's like the biggest player in the league. Like he's a giant dude. He's like almost like 300 pounds. Like he's got like a lot
Whenever
of.
I watch him, why does he shoot so many threes?
He's a stat pattern though. That's
what it is. Yeah.
like I don't know. Like
He
he
likes
and
to
he
get
wants
his
to like
shots.
foul bait and flop, and I'm like, dude, like what are you doing? Like it.
There's a
I
clip
hate
last
his.
night
I hate
saw.
watching him play. Like I understand like the offensive output is there, but like he foul baits. He goes to the line a ton. I mean, like you're like a Shaq-esque type player, and you're like trying to be like a shooter and just dominate in the paint. Like, what are you doing?
Just
I don't know.
21 has his back to the
Like,
basket on anyone.
obviously he
give
could-
Joel Embiid the ball.
Yeah,
If he's on the 3-point line, why is he even touching it?
Like, I mean, he scores points, but his like efficiency is garbage.
Oh, it's awful.
It's
yeah,
terrible.
it's.
It doesn't
Now-
even
There's
help
so
the
many
team.
guys that I see that
A
with.
guys whose efficiency isn't garbage is Nikola Jokic's. And actually, I'm going
Yeah,
to talk about and
talk about
highlight
that.
what he's doing. Look, man, we always got to hear about how great Patrick Mahomes is in the media. Well, dang it, I'm going to gas up another number 15, and he's here in Denver. His name is Jokic, and he's on pace to have one of the best offensive and statistical seasons we have ever seen. Obviously, it's early on in the season, a lot could change, but right now he's averaging 30, 14, and 11 on 67% true shooting.
What does that even mean?
True
shooting.
That measures like your effective or your efficiency like through all of your shooting. It takes into account, you know, where like at the
Like mid-range and-
mid-range, like everything.
Every
There's an
single shot.
equation for it. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but like
equation.
Yeah, here I got you. I can never remember it off the top of my head, but there's a true shooting
numbers.
equation.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
There's too much analytics in basketball.
I think this really measures just how
It's like, what?
effective you're being.
True shooting.
Like
You either shoot or you don't. I don't. Like,
I'm not following you there, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You're losing me on that one.
Hold on, let me get the equation. There
the
it is.
equation. I didn't even pass business mathematics. We got to do equations for basketball.
Yeah, no, it's their true shooting percentage equals half the points scored divided by the sum of the field goals attempted and 0.475 times the free throws attempted.
0.75. Get out.
But
I'm out.
Why not just all the shots?
Yeah, I'm out. I can't.
The true shooting percentage really just shows like how effective of a scorer you are actually being in it. Like, because you can look at a guy like James Harden's run where it's like he's scoring like 50 points a night, but there's like true shooting numbers are in the toilet, and it's like that's just shot checking.
But he's shooting. He's shooting the ball 79 times. A
Right,
game,
but like
you know,
Jokic is
you
like
better.
it's much less shots, similar numbers. It's much more efficient, and like normally to have like really great true shooting and average these numbers, a lot of what you have to be doing is like just like dunking and taking like tons of like layups and dunks and high percentage shots. But he's putting up these true shooting numbers while taking threes, while shooting, you know, floaters and hooks. Like it's very difficult to have this level of efficiency shooting when you're taking the shots he's taking. Like he doesn't take tons of high percentage shots. You know, he's not a dunker, but you know, he has plenty of layups and stuff out the basket, but you know, it's a lot of contested shots. And to be able to have these numbers,
and he's playing 42.06 minutes a game. So
and then there's
you know,
like
you better.
over this 10-game span, no other player has
21.7
been able to
points per
no other player in a 10-game span has ever been able to average 28, 11, and 11 on 65% or better true shooting. So nobody's been able to, 'to, to, 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 be as efficient scoring as he has.
I just think he's good.
Mr.
Like, I don't really
SGA.
need all that. Like, he's just awesome to watch. Like, you can tell.
Mr. SGA might have a run for his money. This
Yeah.
might be MV4 season.
Yeah, I mean,
for
so people are saying
SGA.
like he should be working towards his like 5th straight, but well,
He
I
really could be, but
I digress on that. Another stat so just total points created, which means points you scored or assisted on in some way. He is leading the league all time in his points per game created. It's 60.2 points per game created off of either him scoring or passing and assisting. That's the most all time that any player's ever been averaging. Right now he's 4th in scoring and he's leading the league in rebounds and assists. So
pretty good.
Yeah, like dominating your top 5, your 1st and 2 of the like 3 most important categories.
Denver Nuggets, 2nd in the Northwest at
Yeah.
7-3 with their record.
All
10
right.
games into the season. Long
Dude,
season.
and he is on pace to just crush the clutch points record. So the previous record's 251. That's held by LeBron. If he keeps up at the pace he's on, he'd have 312 clutch points this season. And the clutch points are basically they're like any points scored in the last 5 minutes of the 4th quarter overtime when the game is within 5
When
points.
Okay.
So I like those because it's measuring,
Yeah.
when are you scoring
Yeah.
points when they matter.
Right.
And he's averaging like 40.5 points per game on clutch points. Dominating. The Nuggets are plus 37 with him on the floor. And then this is an interesting statistic. So Clean the Glass, they'll track like a team's expected wins and losses with a guy on the floor. So with the Nuggets on the floor, they play like a 68 win team. With Jokic off the floor, they play like a 1-win team.
It's a bad
30. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
when
a
he has to play the
drastic
whole
swing.
game,
Gotta play
because
the entirety
he's
of
got
it.
to, like
Yeah.
but
And right now, this could change because again, it's early in the season.
and what's
But-
fascinating to me real quick, and it's like he doesn't even try when he's out there.
Oh yeah, it's
You
so
see
low
these
effort.
super tryhards trying to be super athletes and do all this extra crap. No, Joker's like, just give me a couple beers and a cigarette before the game. I'll be all right.
Right.
I like it.
Last thing to highlight here. Right now, the Nuggets offensive rating is at a 132. So if they are able to hold it or keep it similar to that number by the end of the season, they could break the all-time record for offensive rating by a team, which is 122. So, and
I like it.
look, the biggest critique of him has always been his defense. He's not a great on-ball defender, but his basketball IQ, he makes him great in spacing. He's got his best, stock percentage of the season, which is steals and blocks averaged out. So he's just having a hell of a season. If he can keep it up, the Nuggets are starting to get better. Defeated OKC. They had a great game against the Mavericks. Again, could be, we could be looking at another Nikola Jokic MVP season. I mean, it'll just be hard to argue against him besides,
Shout out our number 2 fan.
Kyle.
Shout out our number 2 fan and first in the pick and pool, which we'll get to after this segment. Embiid is a fraud. I agree, Kyle.
Yes, he
Exactly.
is. And it's a long season. It's a lot easier to watch when you're watching a guy like Jokic and, not like a 20-win team. But,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to see that, regular season does at least matter to some guys.
Something else I noticed that's kind of interesting. JJ Redick's kind of unlocked something in AD because he's averaging his most points per game in the season at 31.
Yeah, they're running the offense through him.
Yeah.
basically.
But it's also his most efficient shooting season ever. Like he's like plus 4%, his career high
He'll roll
on
his
true
ankle.
shooting.
He'll roll his ankle
Yeah.
in like a middle of the week game and he'll be out.
If he
9.5
if he
months.
can stay healthy, that's the thing. Wemby also offensively kind of quiet, like nothing to write home about, but he is quickly cemented
Yeah.
himself as the best rim protector in the
He's
league.
one of the hot.
43 blocked shots
I
this
was going to
season.
say he's number 2 right now in the betting market for
Yeah.
defensive player of the year.
Dude, the next closest person is Chet at 26. But Wemby, his 43 blocks are as many as the Chicago Bulls have as a team, and they're more than the Brooklyn Nets, New York Knicks, and Philadelphia 76ers have total as a team. He's got more block shots than four teams in the league do total. Just unreal defensive presence for him. And then before we go on break, Jimmy, I gotta just talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're 12-0. They're looking dominant. You look at what they're not doing great. they don't get to the line a ton. They're 24th in rebounding, but their opponent rebound percentage is the 5th best in the league. And that's because they're crazy efficient. They lead the NBA in points per game, field goals made, field goal percentage, 3-point shot, 3-point percentage, and true shooting percentage. They have like the 6th lowest turnover rate, but while forcing the 3rd highest in opponent turnover rate. They're one of the best teams at stealing the ball, 3rd best, and the 5th best passing team in the league. You've got a top 20 scorer, top 20 assister on this team, 2 top 20 3-point shooters, top 20 rebounder, 2 top 20 and 2 top 20 shot blockers. Their bench, also one of the best in the league. They got the 2nd most bench points this season. Their bench is 5th in points per game, 2nd in assists per game, 3rd best in steals per game and field goal percentage, and their bench is shooting the 2nd best in 3-point percentage and true shooting. So you look at like top to bottom, just the efficiency of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, long season, can they keep this up? But like this is just so much dominance all over the floor on the defensive end, on shooting. It's really impressive to see. And yeah, they've been one of the more exciting teams to watch. Good to see Donovan Mitchell, having success. Was a big fan of that guy.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's not on the Jazz, so I can actually root for him. But Jarius Garland, he's been having himself a season. Yeah,
I loved him at Vanderbilt.
Dude, he's balling out. Mobley and Jared Allen there. Those guys are.
Is he back and healthy?
Who?
Mobley?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
He's
when they lost him last year, that was a devastating blow for that.
He's their leading shot blocker. He's like 8th in block shots per game, and then
backcourt.
Jared Allen's like 16th, and then Allen's their top rebounder. He's like a top 10 rebounder per game, but like Mobley's like just out of the top 20. He's the 21st best rebounder in the league. So I mean, I didn't really think their bench unit was that great, but looking at the numbers, they've clearly proved me wrong. I mean, they're one of the more efficient bench units in the league, and they're protecting the ball. You only when the bench is on the floor, they only average like around 3 turnovers per game from bench guys. So like a shock for me out of the East. I didn't really have the Cavaliers as one of my teams that I thought could be a championship contender going into the season. But I mean, just off of this start right now, they have definitely been the best team in basketball. We'll see if they can keep it going, but got to give them their flowers for just how good they have opened up the year.
Yeah, undefeated, 12-0.
Yeah,
there's always one to start the season. Then just like
we'll see if there's a drop off. But I mean, even if you can keep some of these, like most of these numbers close to what you're at right now, you'll still be a very good team. You're just dominating. They're like top 5 in so many different things across the board. It's really good to see out of Cleveland. And all right, when we come back, I think we're going to jump into our pick'em pool, boys. RunYourPool.com till the final whistle. Got a big week of NFL coming up here. We might even be able to look into some college football if we've got time. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
We are back. We are live till the final whistle. Military Broadcast Radio. Pick'em Cool Wednesday, boys. I love the pick'ems. I love the NFL slate coming up. A lot of good games. K-Fan, can you let us know who is top of this week in this past week's pick'em pool, and who is in the leaderboard?
So our top Week 10 winners: Rogers Revenge went 11-3. Jimmy Covers out second, 10-4. I was 9-5. The Rams last night screwed me.
Yeah,
Would've
they
had 10-4.
Don't sleep on those Dolphins, boys.
Maverick went 8-8, 8-6. The Cheese went 8-6. I Know Nothing, Kyle, Carter, and Mercury all went 8-6. ODB 7-7, and Star, number one fan, went 7-7.
Shout out, Star.
And our top leaderboard, I'll quickly go through that one. Kyle is leading it, of course, 94-58.
If you comment,
Dang,
Kyle, I'll
he's
block you.
killing it.
Yeah.
Mercury
I'll block you,
Orenic,
Kyle.
second, 88-64. Then we got Rogers Revenge, 87-49. Big jump to third. He joined like week 3 of the season. Good on you there. I'm at fourth, 85-67, followed by Jimmy, 84-68. I Know Nothing, 83-37. Got the best record in here. Star at 77-59.
Shout out,
Carter, 73-31. That's a pretty dang good record too.
That's an awesome record.
Maverick, 60-45. ODB, 52-53. And the Cheese, 47-26.
47-26 really isn't all that bad. There are a lot of people in our pool, man.
They just joined
They
late.
know ball.
They know ball, dude. Hey,
They know ball.
does the Till the Final Whistle fan base like have like the smartest fans of
We
any
got
podcast out
some of
there?
the best ball knowers.
We
out here.
definitely do, man.
And we want to hear from these ball
yeah,
knowers too. I mean,
comment.
comment,
Yeah.
text or call in, man.
There we go. We got a comment.
We love hearing from
I
y'all.
love
Probably Kyle.
I see. I said, if
Block
you
him.
comment, I'll block you. And he said, block me. I like it, dude. I like
Oh
it.
man.
That's funny, buddy. I'm not going to block you.
Nah, we couldn't.
block.
Come on,
Said-
Kyle.
we
We
said-
love the
said
friendly
would be
banter,
bad.
man. You're
Said would block me and kick me off the show.
you the man. All right. Hey,
All right,
when you're
first game, Thursday Night Football, boys. Washington versus Philly. Division game on Thursday Night Football. Both teams 1 and 2
Here
in
we
the
go.
division. Who we got?
huge game here. I'm leaning more towards the Eagles. Thing that's been suspect for the Commanders. That defense, we've seen them with the ability to give up points. And now, I mean, playing a back like Saquon Barkley, that's where they've really been struggling is against the run.
He only
But
had like
he's
60 yards last week too.
Yeah.
He didn't really have the best week.
home game for the Eagles.
Those Thursday
And let's
games
just-
are weird, bro.
Yeah, they can be weird. I'm leaning more towards Philly right now. Just looking like really complete. They're really returning to that like 2022 dominant Eagle squad that we saw. I think there's
away teams in the NFL this year, 81, 67, and 4 against the spread. Dogs are 77 and 71 outright this season too. So, the Commanders, and that's just a dangerous team.
They are, yeah.
That's a dangerous team, man, on the road.
But the Eagles, man, they're also dangerous team.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
I think we could see another Thursday night shootout here because both of these teams' offenses can really put up points. But
total is 48 and a hook.
Jaden Daniels, man, he's got a lot of confidence.
Minus 190 on the money line for the Eagles, plus 160 for Washington. I got to go Philly.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, I just got to go with the more experienced.
And Saquon Barkley is still doing dead leg spin moves, full speed in the middle of the field, making Cowboys defenders just run into each other like Mortal Kombat video game.
Yeah.
Sunday, dog with fleas. Who you want? Indianapolis Colts versus New York Aaron Rodgers, baby. At home, 3.5 is the spread. Total is 44 even. New York Jets minus 200 on the money line. Indianapolis Colts plus 165 on the money line.
A little fun fact I learned about the Jets. So, their defense has the worst EPA in the league since they've fired Robert Saleh. Like the worst EPA per play.
Yeah.
Since they fired Robert Saleh. So.
That's a new stat to me too this year that I just heard about. I was like, they're like DVOA and expected this, and I'm like, dude, this turnover worthy play rate. I'm like, does he turn the ball over? Yes or no? If the answer is no, what you think is worthy doesn't matter.
It doesn't even matter.
I hate that crap, dude.
It doesn't even matter.
You're just trying to create a mathematical. The game isn't played in a freaking with a calculator. It's just not. I hate it sometimes when I hear it.
Just
it's
get
like,
on the field,
bro. Are you good? Yes or no? Oh, the Jets defense stinks. That's all I need to know. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts.
Oh, this is a tough one for me though.
Joe Flacco is not losing to Aaron Rodgers. It's just not going to happen.
Against my better judgment, I'm going with Aaron Rodgers. Oh man, I
know Cedric's not going. I know Caveman's not.
Yeah,
I know he's not going with Aaron
Rodgers. Picked the freaking Jets.
Yeah,
and I watched you guys get a loss for picking the Jets. I've picked against them 5 weeks in a row now, and I've been successful on all of those except for the Thursday night game.
Yeah, you're like 4-1 when you pick against the Jets.
I'm going Colts. I probably won't change that.
I'm going Colts.
Now, I'm just gonna go with the Colts.
I'm going Colts, dude.
I'm staying with the Jets. I don't know why.
Mercury's
going back to the well.
That's fine.
I like
That's
it.
fine.
Going
That's
back
fine,
to the
brother.
Flacco's just also looked garbage, and it's like even though the defense's EPA has been trash, they can still force some turnovers.
Before Aaron Rodgers got to the New York Jets, who did Joe Flacco used to play for?
The New York Jets.
It's a Joe Flacco. It's a Joe Flacco revenge game in MetLife. Give me fighting Joe Flacco.
I like it.
Is there such a thing? What scares me? This is an afternoon game. Like Flacco's going to start getting sleepy. Like
it's getting close to bed.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is like he's just
both head to head.
They both need their Metamucil before the freaking game here.
They're going to be yawning.
Yeah. Low total, 44 points. Can both teams score 22?
Yeah, it's going to be a garbage game. Thank God they flexed this out of Sunday Night Football.
One of the best games this weekend, though, probably game of the week status. Baltimore on the road against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Spread is 3 points. Total is 48 even. Pittsburgh plus 145. Baltimore minus 170 on the money line. Good matchup, boys. Good matchup. Right now, the public is on the Baltimore Ravens, as you could possibly imagine. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers defense to match up here. I know they're going to load up and stop the run. Derrick Henry is not going to go into Pittsburgh and run up the middle for 105 yards a clip on the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Yeah, it's a defensive game.
I really like the Pittsburgh Steelers matchup here.
And I think I'm leaning towards the Steelers. They got the home field advantage. That usually plays a huge role in these Baltimore.
Oh, wow. Fun fact here, boys,
games.
real quick. Sorry to interject, Mercury. 7-3 in their last 10 Pittsburgh head-to-head against the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
3-7.
They
to the
swept
under.
them last season.
They did.
I mean, one of those was
With like
the
Duck
Ravens.
Hodges as their quarterback or something.
I mean,
Yeah, it
one
was
of
like
those games, the Ravens
last-
were sitting there starters because they had the
Sitting there
one
starters
seed
end of the
locked
year.
up. But yeah, but like in Pittsburgh, they held the Ravens to 10 points in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And,
And in Baltimore.
yeah, won them. Well, but again, Lamar wasn't starting. But like you,
Dude, they haven't
on the
scored
road,
more than 13 points. You have to go back to COVID year when they scored 24.
look back. Russell Wilson's looking good, dude. The Ravens secondary still just
That's what it
scares
is
me,
for
man.
me.
George
Mike
Pickens
Williams and
is
Pickens might
looking
cook.
like a true top 10 wide receiver now too.
Yep.
I think there could be some problems there for the Ravens
I like Pittsburgh.
defending the
boys.
pass. I'm
I
going
can't
with
lie.
Pittsburgh. I think home field advantage also plays a huge role in
I
these
wonder what the
Pittsburgh
weather- hold on,
Baltimore
I'm looking-
games.
I got the weather forecast here. I want to see if
Yeah,
the
pull that
weather's
up.
going to be. Right now, it's 50 whether or not it's going to be raining, but it looks like kickoff. There's going to be 18-mile-an-hour winds and a low of 42 degrees.
Uh-oh.
Could be a crap weather game, according to the future weather forecast on covers.com. No free shout-outs, Covers.
So we're
Interesting.
looking like
I will say
hopefully
that also
not.
does bring me to my waiver wire out of the week. I think if you can get Russell Wilson, he's got a pretty
Yeah, that's a
favorable
good-
path to the playoffs. Where he's like, they are all division games, bear in mind, but they're like against the 31st worst defense to fantasy quarterbacks, against the
They got-
30,
they kinda
the
got a
28th,
gauntlet,
and the
brother.
21st worst.
Pittsburgh's
So,
got a gauntlet.
I mean, if you're struggling at QB a little bit, but like the rest of your team's solid, I think Wilson, he can just be a solid plug and play
I think
guy.
he can get you 20.
Yeah.
He can get you 20.
Leading up to the playoffs, like based off of matchups, you can I think you can play him all the way up to the playoffs. And then he does have a tougher playoff schedule against the Eagles. Then they do play the Ravens again, who again pass defense been a problem for them. And then the Chiefs, where it might be like, okay, like you want to judge it based off of matchups. But I think just they got him a nice complement of weapons there. He's doing a pretty good job of protecting the ball too. Not a huge turnover prone guy. So he's just somebody out there that can, if you're like quarterback situations kind of in shambles, and he's available in your fantasy league, he'll be good for like 18 to 20 a week for you. And if you've got studs at other positions, you just straight up your quarterback spot, could be a league winner for you. Go and get Russell Wilson. That's my waiver wire out of the week.
My waiver wire ad. Let's go to San Francisco, hosting the Seattle Seahawks. My waiver wire, Ricky Pearsall.
I like that.
The dude's coming back from a big injury. Debo, you have no Ayuk, so that your number 2 now in San Francisco is
Yeah.
Ricky Pearsall.
Although
Have a chance. he got a
Jawan Jennings
touchdown
is
last
back
week.
too.
Oh yeah, Jawan Jennings is healthy.
But
So you could honestly see production from both of those guys.
and
really in
Debo Samuel's more of a running back at this point than a receiver. So I mean, Ricky is still pretty much the number 2 wide receiver
I
out
really
there.
love this matchup for Seattle, though.
Oh yeah, that's a good matchup for
I
him.
mean, they're
It's a good matchup.
Weatherspoon over there and Woolen at DB.
It's been suspect.
I really don't
Yeah,
think that they're going to fear any wide receiver for San Francisco.
They're still the 23rd ranked secondary.
They
against
are.
I mean, I don't know.
wide
Those guys,
receivers.
Their
like
defense
they're
is
still
awful. I'm looking at their
good.
defense.
Demarcus Robinson was like going ham against them
Yeah.
just a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
It's
I
a
do like
division game. though, so
JSN in
really,
this game.
I'm throwing those numbers out the window.
Ever since Russell Wilson left
Yeah.
Seattle, the Niners have
That's a
kind
good
of
point,
just
Caitlin.
owned
Owned them.
the Seahawks. I'm going with San Francisco again here.
Gino's got to protect the ball to
Yeah,
win this. Last time they
does.
matched up was Thursday Night Football, and it came down to pretty late possession game. And Gino
Their offense is bad.
threw 2 picks that game.
Their
Yeah, that's
offense
the
is
one.
27th in the NFL.
Yeah, they turn the ball over a lot. Their guys
Yeah.
statted up, but with Gino has like 2 picks a game almost. And
Bro,
they're
they
not,
only
like-
average 4.8 yards per play. That's like
Yeah.
Chicago Bears level.
Their offense is their offensive line is pretty
Bottom
terrible
4
too.
in the
It's been
league.
pretty abysmal.
Yeah,
Last few weeks.
that like I don't know, the Seahawks, they got talent there, but I just like it's just okay. Like I mean,
San Fran 6.5
you got
points.
shiny toys at wide receiver and running back, but it's like when you get down to the meat and potatoes of the team, like the nitty gritty stuff, it's like it's not real good, and you just all these shiny toys aren't gonna fix that. It's the Bugatti at the trap house
Yeah,
meme,
Bugatti at the trap house.
I gotta
Speaking
go
of
with
trap,
San Francisco.
CMC's back.
Yeah, too.
He's
It's
gonna
like
be
just the Niners are
second
just
week
going to get
back,
better
and
offensively.
he's gonna-
Freaking CMC.
And I mean, Baker's been statting it this year. And like, I know, like, even without his wide receivers in there, but like San Francisco held him to 107 yards passing last week. Most of that coming on that last drive, too. So, I mean, the defense for the Niners quietly been improving.
They
as
did
well.
just re-sign a defensive back, one of their cornerbacks to a 4-year deal.
Diamador Lamore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's solid.
That's right.
It's a tongue twister. Say that 4 times fast.
Diamador Lenore.
Speaking
Lenore.
of Bugatti in the Trap House, Minnesota plays the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. 1:00 on Sunday. Spread is 6 points. Total is 39.5.
I mean, after watching how they played against Mac Jones in Jacksonville, I'm not insanely confident.
Somebody's gonna have to convince
about this.
Who's gonna convince me to pick this game? Somebody in the comments just tell me, like, hey, pick.
Oh God!
You know, just run. Kyle, who are you picking in
What
the
did-
Minnesota Tennessee?
what did Kyle say
I'll
there?
just fade Kyle. I'll just go just because I need to be opposite of Kyle. So whoever Kyle, if you can in the comments,
Estimate
drop
waiver wire.
I do like that.
Oh, I like that ad
That's
too,
a
buddy.
solid one.
Yeah, I like that. Yep.
I was looking at him this morning. He's like number 1 available player.
shout
in,
out Notre
some
Dame.
leagues.
I think he should be
Irish, man.
our starting back going forward there too.
Shout out
Definitely.
Notre Dame.
There's a lot of, like,
Definitely started
the
him.
fumble issues do scare me a bit, but I mean, like, we just like
He protected it
He was
against
g-
an undefeated team.
yeah.
That's all.
He
that's
was
all I
he
need
was
to see.
gashing them on some runs there too. I like the mix of the blend of power and speed that he's got there.
Yeah, he's got a
I just
good
think,
quick
yeah,
release
he's
for the
your
size. He's good.
he's your primary, back on first and second down and third and short, and then Julian McLaughlin's kind of your pass catcher out of the backfield. I like
Mini
that.
by 43.
Wow.
Honestly,
I can't even pick. I can't pick Levi Jeans, man.
Nah,
I just-
well, and I'm just like, my thing is like against Brian Flores, like
Yeah.
a guy you
They're
don't
gonna
see a lot.
See a lot.
send the
That's a
house
good,
at him.
Yeah, so that's a good point. If
That
you've never
might be
seen
a
the
way to
Flores
do it.
defense, it's tough to play.
Like I'll be
against,
like
if you've
Sam-
seen it, it's easy.
Sam Darnold played like garbage, but like Mac Jones was he was lost out there too. Like, I don't think Will Levis is going to do much better.
Yeah.
I
think
can't,
Mini's probably going to win that one.
I can't pick him, man.
Caveman, we got a ball game, brother.
Buddy,
New Orleans.
Oh, when the
Cleveland.
Saints come marching
marching
in,
in.
we're going New Orleans, boys. Dan
New
Rizzi's
Orleans,
got that
we
team
are
right
riding.
fine.
We are
I-
riding,
dude,
boys.
Just contain Miles Garrett as much as we can.
Yeah,
Their
I love
secondary
his
hasn't been.
energy.
They got Greg Newsome over there in Cleveland, but if we contain Miles Garrett, we could have a decent day against the secondary. They do well against our tight ends, and I really wish we had Chris Olave back for this matchup. But honestly, I'm
You think
pretty.
he's still out.
He's probably done for the year. He's got 2 concussions within
Yeah,
5
man,
weeks.
that's-
He's probably out for the year. That's another guy. It's like, you better wear a toad cap next year, buddy, or you're gonna be using a cane by the time you're 30. Like, he's gonna be walking with the cane by the time he's 30 if he's not use one of those.
Cleveland
ride
up front,
Saints,
their front
baby.
seven.
I'm going with the
Let's
Saints.
not too
I've picked
great.
them every week.
They're kind of just middle of the pack against the run. I think this could be a big game for Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
especially like the counter Miles Garrett, like, running away from his side or just like throwing screen passes in behind him. Great way to just kind of attack and frustrate that defense.
Yeah.
And Darren Rizzi's got those boys fired up, man. I mean, that's like great energy you like to see from a head coach. I love
Oh,
My
that.
prediction of
We're
a
screwed.
6-win team.
Sorry, boys. I got
is
breaking
coming
news
in
from Adam
close.
Schefter. Colts are going back to Anthony Richardson as the starting quarterback. I can't.
Oh,
I got to
man.
change my pick already.
Getting off the Jets.
I got.
Yeah.
You're getting
I
on to the Jets now.
I'm gonna. I swear to you. I swear to you, boys. I'm not picking this game. I'm leaving it blank.
You're just leaving it.
I'm boycotting this game. NFL, just cancel it, dude.
You know,
What
I
are we
respect
doing?
that.
I don't want to watch Aaron Rodgers anymore, dude. I'm
That's
done.
valid.
Guys,
They
I
took
sent.
it off
Did I
prime
send it in the
time.
group? Did I send it in the group text? Like when Aaron Rodgers was that picture with him and Randall Cobb walking off the field after we lost to Detroit a few years back. Guys, he should have. I can't do it. I'm boycotting this game, dude. I'm boycotting this game.
That's
I like it.
I'm boycotting this
crazy,
game, dude.
bro.
I like it.
What are the
Boycotting
Colts
Jets
doing going
game.
back? You bench them. I can't. I'm flabbergasted, dude. I can't even. Put
I
a
guess
thought
they
together right
genuinely
now.
thought they could win with Flacco, but the way Flacco's played the last 2 weeks, it's like, well, we're losing games still. We're turning the ball over a lot still. might as well just be doing this with our rookie quarterback.
Yeah,
and
I guess.
figuring something out. Like
Instead of
Flacco's-
throwing for, 180 yards, we only want to throw for 57 a game.
Yeah, for
You know.
60.
So, instead of our quarterback going 20 of 45, we want our quarterback to go 7 of 31, which he's done 3 times.
But I mean,
Anthony
fingers
Richardson in the
crossed for
first half of the Packers game was 2 of 25. He completed 2 passes.
Jesus.
He threw the ball 51 times against the Packers.
Well, Colts game plan, it better be to just give the ball to 28.
Yeah. Who wears the toad cap?
Bro, this
Let's
is-
give the ball to 28, please.
NFL,
For the love
I mean,
of God.
Thank you for taking it out of the Sunday night slot. But
Yeah, that's
you
true.
should have moved this game to the morning. Why is it in the
Buddy, send it
afternoon?
to Mexico City,
Bro.
dude.
Send
it to Mexico.
Play this game on a
Send back to
Wednesday
London
morning.
at this point.
We'd rather be doing the show than watching this game.
the
Come
game,
on,
right?
Hey,
Yeah.
like, talk about the NBA,
Yeah.
NHL
No
instead of watching
kidding.
this
No,
crap.
no kidding,
Oh
dude.
my
Yeah, I gotta
God.
go with the Jets now, man. This is bad. Anyway, moving on. Jacksonville on the road to Detroit Lions, 14-point spread. The money line minus 850 for the Lions. Lay the house
Yeah,
and lay
give
the
me-
wood, boys.
Give me the Lions here.
All right, boys. Real
Mac
quick.
Jones is the quarterback of the future
I need
for
a few minutes.
Jacksonville.
I need a few minutes, man.
All right.
I think we can just raise on. Detroit's going to win by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Chicago and Green Bay, boys. Let's go.
Ooh-wee, we're going
It's
Packers.
Bears week, baby.
Yeah,
it's
they-
Bears week. It's a
Back-to-back bye
dumpster
weeks for the
fire.
boys.
It's a dumpster fire. I'm fired up. I love these weeks, dude. Packers 6-point favorites on the road. Total 40, low total. Green Bay Packers can cover this 40-point total by themselves.
Got a question for you, Jimmy.
Yeah, hit me, brother.
What does the Chicago Bears offense look like after Shane Waldron was
See,
relieved
now
of his duties?
now that's interesting. I would have rather have played Shane Waldron because you know what you're going to get on, because they're going to throw the playbook away, obviously. So now you don't know. I mean, if you're the Bears, you got to throw the kitchen sink at the Green Bay Packers off. Defense.
That's
You
true.
have to show something that you haven't shown on film because it's obvious it hasn't worked.
Mhm.
You got to put something else out there. I'm not afraid of their running game, so I think we're just going to play 5 a line and just stop their running game and make Caleb Williams beat us
Yep.
with his arm. And he's one of the worst
Yeah.
deep ball throwers. I don't think it's going to be an overly aggressive game plan for the Packers defense. I really think we're going to show a lot of pressure and confuse them with zone because we like to show and drop out a lot. And then I think on 3rd down, that's when you're going to see us blitz off the edge, which
Yeah.
is what really has been the weakness for the Chicago Bears offensive line. Packers are going to win by 25. I don't know why the spread's only 6. We haven't,
Yeah, that's crazy.
dude, we've covered 17-point spreads in Chicago. Like my buddy Tommy, shout out Tommy. We haven't lost a game in Chicago in 6 years.
Jesus.
That's
Okay.
crazy.
So like we just need to, and we've covered over 17 both times. Like we won by 17 points last year. And that was the lowest point total that we won by since Khalil Mack year.
The Green Bay
And,
Packers own the Chicago.
We just
Bears.
it's just what it is, dude.
It's
They're
nuts.
snake bitten. I'm done now. They already slapped my hand, guys. All the viewers and listeners out there. Caveman and Mercury basically wanted to kick me off the show for going on a Bears rant on the Monday show. But I'm gonna make it up to him. But Green Bay against Chicago, boys. I love this week. It's my favorite week of the season because I get to just talk so much crap on Facebook and all my Chicago friends. Jimmy Covers from Chicago, big time Packers fan. Packers by 21, boys.
It's really fun because, like, have you been following the Packers Facebook page for a really long time where it gives you like those fan badges?
Fan badges, yeah.
So I have like a 5-year
There we
one
go.
with the Saints.
Yeah.
So like anytime they go live with like the post game conferences,
You watch them too?
everybody is like responding to my comments. Like,
Yeah,
oh, this
'cause
dude's
you're
been a fan forever. He
forever.
probably knows what's going on at least.
Yeah,
Like even if
Same,
I'm just
yeah.
just talking the most trash about the
Dude,
team.
I can show you on my Twitter, the Packers Inside guys, like they follow me back on Twitter. I've gotten to some Twitter wars where, because like though there's players that just get hyped up by, obviously, as you know, Caveman, like, oh, every player for my team is good when you're a beat writer, you know what I mean? And I'm like, hey, they're using DVOA and all these advanced, and I'm like, boys, our secondary is lunch meat against that. When we're doing this and doing that, we stink. It's just what it is. I don't care about DVOA and all this advanced metrics crap. Oh, you don't turn over worthy play rate and Jared Goff. I don't care. Jared Goff doesn't turn the ball over unless we blitz him. If we don't blitz him, he doesn't turn it over.
Not to one up you guys or anything, but when I was in high school, Mitch Unrein followed me.
Heck yeah, man.
Dude, good job, man.
I don't know if he still follows me, but he was. I like.
There we go.
Spent like 20 minutes. Like, there's no way this is actually him, right?
A funny
There was.
story about that.
I don't know. Maybe it was an accident or something, but
His uncle.
for a point in time, I had an NFL defensive lineman following me on Instagram.
Funny story about Mitch
Your boy
Unrein.
HG out here.
His uncle Val was a good friend of my dad's, and Val Unrein. Well, rest in peace to Val. He was a Navy veteran as well.
Shout out
I think.
Val.
Look at
So another Navy vet comes back to the military. Good friend of my dad's who passed away a few years ago, and yeah, that's a good way to remind me of that.
the me and caveman connection before we even met each
like
other.
it, dude.
That's
Yeah,
CMS.
That's
good
small
stuff,
world
dude.
right
Look
there.
at that.
Yeah, that's fire.
Meant to be.
Real quick,
All right, let's get
moving
into the
on.
next one.
Vegas, Miami, in Miami, coming off of a Monday night win.
Give me the Dolphins.
Yeah, let's go
Yeah, man,
Dolphins. We got
Fins.
9
The
minutes.
Vegas defense
9
has
minute
just
warning.
collapsed. Okay. I want can we get the Christian Wilkins injury status? Because this could be a revenge game
That's
for
a
him.
good.
Ooh,
That might be
forgot about that.
problematic. But
That's a good.
I mean, the
point.
rest of the
Let me
the
go. I got
Raiders
injuries
defense was
right here.
supposed
Hold
to be
on.
like a top 10 defense, and they've just been garbage. They might, they could easily get shredded by this Miami's Dolphins offense.
Mm, I'm not seeing him on the.
It's out indefinitely.
Oh yeah,
With a Jones fracture, huh?
yeah,
Well,
He's getting surgery.
yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Mm,
I guess he's no revenge game there. Yeah, Dolphins probably win this like 27-10, something like that.
Yeah, man. Vegas, they're just looking to get that QB.
Dude,
they're competing for the number
they're
one pick.
tanking for like Shador or Cam Ward. Like they're just
yeah, dude.
they need a
they need
quarterback.
somebody for
Yeah.
sure. Moving on, the other Monday Night Football team playing LA goes to New England. 4.5 is the spread. Total is 44. Some low totals this week.
Yeah.
Atlanta
I mean,
and Denver also a 44-point total.
The Rams, I think they got to get a
Falcons.
bounce back win here.
They got to get back to 500 if they want to stay in the race.
I'm gonna give it to them, just because I think this was a weird game for them. Dolphins were a team that were playing with some desperation. I don't really think New England's considering themselves in the playoff hunt though, so they're.
Yeah,
I don't know how hard they'll be trying, and I just can't see LA losing back-to-back games, especially they've got playoff aspirations. I think Sean McVay, he'll be more aggressive this week if it comes down to it. We'll take the Rams in a bounce back game. It's going to be closer though than I think a lot of people will give the Patriots credit. I mean, they're starting to figure some things out. It's just kind of like too little, too late. But
yeah,
I like Drake.
sacks
I
last
like
week.
Drake May. Yeah, that
I like it,
defense.
Kyle.
is good.
Broncos will be swag surfing all over Atlanta, Denver by 10.
That's right.
I'm
'cause
going
the
with the
Saints-
Broncos.
The
Yeah.
Saints Cinderella
like it,
run. We
man.
need some help from the
Yeah,
Broncos.
they do. This is a
Yeah.
must-win
to
game
beat the Falcons.
for the Broncos to make a little playoff push for the wild card there.
Definitely. I mean, Atlanta's
And I'm
struggled
picking-
2.5
against.
spread. So I mean,
I'm
Vegas
picking the
thinks
Broncos.
Yeah.
Vegas thinks Broncos can hang in this game.
Look, Atlanta's struggled against good pass rushes. The Broncos got a good pass rush.
That's true.
And
That's a good
they
point.
Atlanta doesn't have a pass rush. So
No.
I mean,
I
like
think the altitude might get them too. This
Yeah,
is a weird
I don't
place
know,
to
like-
play if you've never played here before.
our line has been playing really well when they're not blocking on the special on field goal unit. But normal pass block has been really good. And like Atlanta just can't get pressure unless they blitz a ton. And like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They do got a blitz to get pressure.
Yeah.
That's very true. And their defensive
they just
backfield
they're
is
like
sketchy.
abysmal in generating pressures. They're one of
really
the worst
are.
teams at doing it.
Yeah.
Bo Nix against teams that they're bad against generating pressures. He's looked really good. He diced up Carolina. So this could be like a 300-yard passing day for Bo Nix. I don't know. The Broncos
potential
match up really
Justin
well against
Simmons
this.
revenge game.
Yeah, that is true.
Ooh, that's true.
You got to
man.
watch
That's a
out for
good point,
that.
Caveman. That's a good point, bud.
But
That's the only guy I'm
the
worried about,
secret
really,
weapon
on
the
Atlanta.
Denver Broncos have is that I'm going to be there, and they've won
There
the
you go.
last 3 games that I've been to. so-
Nice on a 3-game win streak, dude.
Yeah.
That's nice, dude.
And one of those games was
I like
against
it.
the Chiefs. Man, I was
Cool.
there when we beat.
Oh,
Oh,
the
you went
Chiefs last year.
Wow,
That
cool.
was, I cannot
Lit.
tell you
Lit.
how great that game was.
Lit.
The vibes leaving that stadium,
Oh, I
dude,
bet.
complete strangers were just hugging each other.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
it was.
Your season means nothing. You beat the division. You beat a Super Bowl champion.
We snapped the streak.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
I mean, that
Yeah.
was our Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. Sunday.
And
I
it
mean,
was.
win
And I was
game.
there.
Rightfully
Talked
so.
about it on Monday, man. That was just a tough man. That sucks.
But
Going to that team that you lost to, going to Kansas City, America's game of the week, possible game of the year matchup, first round bye implications in the AFC.
8-2 Buffalo Bills, the 9-0
Kansas City
Chiefs.
Spread is 2 and a hook, and the total is 46. That's kind of a low total for these two teams.
Come on, Josh Allen.
I wonder if there's gonna be
I'm
weather
going
over
with
there.
Allen. Keeps getting Mahomes in the regular season. He just can't get it done in the postseason. And also,
Yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs, the devil magic has to run out eventually.
I don't think the NFL can use the refs this game to help the can. You have to see
It's
where they
in
stack up.
Buffalo
It's in
too.
Buffalo. I like
Yeah.
the Buffalo Bills. I really like. The
I like
Buffalo
it.
That
I don't
way
know,
they're gonna be.
like,
I want a freaking snow game for the
each-
game of the week. That would
Yeah,
be crazy.
each
Yeah,
week
dude.
it's just like you're like the
Yes.
Chiefs.
Let's get some.
They're
lake
like
effect.
right
That's what I
there.
mean, dude.
Yeah.
The Chiefs like right there on the verge of losing, and they just something keeps going their way, and that I don't think that's sustainable. That can't keep happening against a good team like Buffalo. I think that's going to change.
We saw what happens when you pressure that O line.
Yeah. They can get the
Thank you,
Bills can get
Broncos.
pressure.
Bills can get
The
pressure.
Bills can get pressure.
They also
That's-
have to blitz a lot. I saw last week
Yeah.
that their blitz rate is very high, but
but they're good at it.
They're
They're
good.
good
Mahomes
at
isn't
like,
throwing it over the top. You can blitz.
Yeah.
You can
That's a
blitz
good
them
point,
all
Gabe, man.
day.
there's really, I mean,
That's true.
Xavier Worthy, they can run over a shell. I really like the Buffalo Bills matchup here, and they run the ball kind of good too. So
I do.
there's just no weapons for Josh Allen playing in this game.
Oh man, he's
And they got
Amari
me,
Cooper might be
and
helpful,
they got
though.
me and you playing wide receiver over there.
Well, Amari Cooper, he's questionable, but I think he'll probably be back for a big game like this. So,
I
I know, but
hope
like
so, 'cause
Allen
that would help
hasn't
a
had
lot.
a real weapon all year, and he's still
Oh.
That's
he's
true.
having his best statistical season, like his most
That's true.
touchdowns to lowest turnover rate. So
He's not putting the ball in harm's way. That's
no,
for sure.
he's not.
We're going to swing over to the West Coast for a big time matchup Sunday Night Football. Cincinnati Bengals against the
Ooh,
L.A. Harbaughs, playing some good ball over there in L.A.
The Bengals need this one. I feel like the Chargers could win, honestly.
I really like the Chargers in this matchup.
The Chargers could win if they get some big stops.
I'm going with the Bengals. 'Cause
I
I think the
love the
Bengals
over.
really need it.
If you're a sports better,
Yeah,
bet the
that's
over.
why
This
I'm going
game's going to be
Cincy.
this game's going to be played into the
Although
60.
I do
points.
think start Lad McConkey. I think Lad McConkey could be poised for a big game here. The
Yo, Lad.
Bengals been bottom
Yo,
10
Lad.
defense against the pass. Herbert's numbers are getting better. And look, I mean, Burrow and Chase are just like on fire this season. More than likely going to be another game where you're like both teams
Hmm.
are scoring 20 plus. Could be in the high 20s, low 30s, like for each team. And I like Lad McConkey here to have a touchdown. If you're better, I think Lad McConkey anytime TD. I think
Oh,
that's a
good.
lock.
That's a good bet. That's a good
I
bet,
like it.
dude.
Good pick.
I
But
like
I
that a
think-
lot, Mercury.
Gadget slot
I
guy
like that.
here. I'm seeing like 6-7 catches, 70, 80 yards in the touch right here. So solid fantasy day. And
I think this game is going to be a high scoring game. So
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
live for both teams.
Mhm.
Total's 47.
and
I
right,
can
mean,
see that both teams having 28.
I think
having
Lad, he's
4
just like the
touchdowns.
best receiver they
Burrows
got there
looks
out of the
great.
slot. Yeah.
Burrow and Chase.
Dude,
are
he's having an
demons.
MVP season.
He really is.
And it's just like they just can't win any
Just
effing games.
decimated.
That's
by
throwing it
injury.
away.
Yeah.
They're not injured. They're all healthy except for T. Higgins.
Except for T. Higgins, yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, this is probably his last year there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably gone.
I don't. Yeah.
Final thoughts, boys?
Final thoughts. Houston's gonna roll Dallas on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's going to be an unfortunate
Sorry.
one.
I guess you won't have to worry about the sun blinding your
Yeah, it's a
wide
nighttime
receivers at
game.
least. So
It's a nighttime game.
you got that. My point total for this one's gonna be 44.
Stupid.
44, and that's going to be
That's
44
That's
because
the
to
over
0.
42. The total is 42. So
I think it's gonna be
that's
like
over.
the Texans are gonna win this game like 34-10 because they're gonna like turn the Cowboys over 5 times.
I like it.
And I mean the Cowboys can't stop the run. Joe Mixon bounce back game for him. Love it. I didn't get to my sit of the week. Don't start Austin Eckler this
You
week.
mentioned the Chiefs. Time to throw up. Cutesy. The fix is going their way. Don't say that on the show. Please just
don't even manifest
It's
that.
just,
Come
don't
on.
even. We don't need that negative energy.
Put get that out of the world.
That's my mom there, actually.
Oh, nice.
Her
That's
reaction.
Hi, thanks for commenting.
Her reaction to that blocked field goal, man. I'm sorry, HG. When that field goal got blocked, I died laughing. Like I
did
actually
too.
started crying laughing.
I did too. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but like that's the most Denver Broncos way to lose a football game if I've ever seen it.
It really is.
That made me like.
It was a chip shot.
That made me physically ill.
I bet, dude.
Like I felt nauseous after that.
Like sometimes watching
because you're like you see the replay, you're like how, and then Joel in our group text, it's like you nailed it, and I was like, all right, like it's like the most Denver, bro. You give up a block, like it was shorter than an extra point.
And besides this Forsyth guy, like our special
Brutal.
teams have been real good this year.
Benbert, yeah.
The punting game was good. I mean, Will Lutz has been super accurate, but this glaring issue that we didn't want to take care of. And of course, Kansas City exploited. Of course, that happened against the Chiefs.
You know what happened?
Leaping Chiefs.
They went for that field goal. They went for that field goal that they first missed, I think. And the same thing happened where they just ran Forsyth over.
Yeah.
And so they did it later in the game, and it just worked again.
And
it sucks.
The hash they run, you had to kick the ball angling
Against
towards
it.
his side of the line.
Right.
So just
yeah,
thing worked out. I'm gonna start crashing out. We got to end the show. It's 10 o'clock. Thank you so much to everyone that tuned in today. We'll be back on Monday for a football frenzy to recap crazy
Sydney
weekend
felt
college.
like a donkey kick to the face. That's a comment.
Could not agree more, Sydney. Bounce back win this week for the boys in Denver. God bless Bo Nix. Thank you all for watching.
Shout out NSS. Shout out MBR. Till the final whistle. Thanks, boys. Good show today. Good night and good luck.
Back next week.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.